to the Miss Phins Show. I am your host, Miss Phins. Thank you so much for coming through, guys. Thank you. You know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to ask. Go ahead and do me a favor. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. Thank you so much for coming through. Man. Woo, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like button too. Why? Because it'll be nice of you to do it. Mic check though. I need to make sure. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yes, I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. Good morning, guys. Yes, hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Share, subscribe, let everybody else know we are live. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. Much appreciated. Shout out to all the members of the channel who continue to support the channel. I appreciate it, guys. I'm in the middle of like literally moving. So it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of moving parts. So, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man, because you guys literally make it worth it. I love doing this. I know I didn't make it at 8 a.m. I had an appointment. I'm like, I'll have to do it at 10. But I'm so glad to be here. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be discussing something that I think has been on everybody's mind, and it just almost always ends up being the topic of the day. And I try not to talk about it, but it's like, why not? So this time, we're going to talk about it, but I also want you guys to come up here and talk about it too, whenever you guys get a minute as well. Let me, hold on, because it's kind of embarrassing. So yes, TUA TUA TUA. We are talking TUA today. It's Friday. You know what I mean? I got to celebrate a parade in like 2 days. So it's got a lot of work to do with all that. But hey, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Friday. Oh, that's me. At the end of the day, I still got to have fun. I still got to enjoy myself. So, guys, if you got a moment, go ahead and hit the likes up. Give me the fins up. Give me the go fans. So we're going to be talking about TUA. Yes, his contract. Are we even worried about what's going on right now in the team? Honestly. Yeah, well, I'm going to give you my opinion. I want to hear from you guys. I think it'll be fun. And you know what? It's Friday. It's Friday, yeah. It's Saturday, Sunday. It's Friday, yeah. It's Saturday, Sunday. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Thank you very much. Shout out to everybody on Twitter and Twitch. Thank you guys for coming through as well. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we even worried? I've heard so many. Sometimes I like to sit back. Let me see what the people have to say. Let me see what these media pundits have to say, and what the mainstream media and everything else. We all heard what we've heard. From Pellicero to Schefter to So we've been hearing a lot from Kirk. Like, it's just, everybody has an opinion. Why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? It makes sense. It sells. I'm hoping this one, gets a lot of views because it's TUA. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following Miss Phins, you know that I like to be as objective as possible. I will tell it as it is, but also give you my fan view, because hello, I'm a fan. I'm still a fan. Like, you know what I mean? 1 second, Gonna put on the light and real quick. I'm still a fan, so it's not like I'm not gonna give you my fandom part of it either. There you go. See me from all angles. And for me personally, I wanna, it's been. I like to be as fair as possible when it comes to TUA. grade him on where he is at the time that I'm talking about him. So if my opinion changed at any point throughout the last 4 years, it's supposed to. Just like anybody else's opinion. Oh my, I know a lot of people get flack. Oh my God, look at you switching up. Look at everybody now. Switching up on Tua. I can't believe this. I'm like, relax, people. Tua has evolved and developed. He's still developing, in my opinion. So of course we're supposed to naturally have with new information, new what is the word I'm looking for? New outlook on the young man. And right now, obviously, the topic of conversation this entire offseason, even last year, is Tua's contract extension. Ladies and gentlemen, personally, do we really care? Do we really like? Is it really that? Are we really that worried about this season? And if we are, what are we worried about this Tua extension? That's really where I want to take this conversation, because I don't know if I'm worried at all in this extension at all. Now, I've had the pleasure of coming in contact with South Florida's best and brightest when it comes to beat writers and a columnist, and I cannot, I will not name names, but I do. I'm very blessed that I've had some interaction. So I've spoken to a lot of people who literally are interviewing the players, who are in the locker room, and it's very interesting because the general consensus is that, and you've heard this from multiple content creators, Miami wants to give Tua the extension. I mean, if we're being honest, if they didn't, they would have been like, they would have squashed it and just been like, "You're playing in your 5th-year option." Let's be honest. You know what I mean? They would have had conferences and come out and said, "Oh, we're gonna go ahead and just have him play." No, they they've said it multiple times. They want to have Tua here as the long-term option. But before I continue, guys, I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Welcome, chat. What's up, Chef Jew? Good morning, Lady Dolphin, Miss Phins, and everyone. How y'all doing? Check your pulse. Shout out to the members club. Yes. Shout out to y'all. Thank you, Chef Jew. Subscribe, share, like, donate, become a member today. Your seat is waiting for you. Join the family. And you are absolutely the ambassador of ambassadors, sir. Thank you. Marino's Gold, how you doing, sir? Phins up to ya. Hooked Up Joe, one of our awesome, super talented members. What's up, Adam S? Welcome, man. How you doing? Phins up and sub. We got Phins Sanity in the building. Let's go. How you doing, Dolphinier? Welcome. Good morning, Timothy. How you doing, my friend? Let's go. Let's go. I'm loving all those emojis. Good morning, Miss Phins. Good morning, everybody. Vamos Gatos. Welcome. Good morning, Michelle. Another one of our awesome members. Good morning. How you doing? Shake Money in the building. How you doing, Shake Money? Welcome. What's good, everybody? Fins up. How you doing? Hey, Andrevius. Don't care. Vamos Gatos. Hey, listen. It really, this entire week is all about the Panthers. I get it, but I still gotta talk Dolphins. So, but yes, congrats to the Cats. So I'm very happy about that. But good morning, Vamos Gatos. Welcome, welcome. Michelle says Tua should get what he deserves. Play on a 5th-year option and reevaluate after season. I mean, I'm not sorry about that statement at all. I mean, I think that statement is kind of spot on a lot of people nowadays are feeling the same way. Now, there's certain things that I've heard that I literally can't repeat, but yo. Oh my gosh. I'm glad because at least it makes me feel like I'm not alone in my particular train of thought, So I'm happy about that, Hey, what's up, Jose? Good morning, Jose. Another one of our awesome members. Tua leaving to another team after we built him is something to worry about. And you know what? That is that. And this is why I ask. Are you worried about this season? Are you worried about this contract? Because that's a legitimate point. Him leaving after we develop him or built him up, give him the chance to iron out the kinks and then go into another team. And believe me, if you think he's not going to ball out, I'm here to burst that bubble for you. He will ball out. It's inevitable. When you have talent, you have talent. You may not have all the talent. You may not be as talented as someone else, but talent is still talent. And Tua is very talented. Anybody that wants to deny that, I don't know what to tell you. Tua is extremely talented. The difference is there are different levels of talent, and some players may have the same type of talent, but the way they apply it is different. So one might be more effective than the other, or their circumstances might be different. So they're able to go ahead and apply it differently than the other. So those are the things that you have to think about when, as fans, as far as when it comes to it. But I think this is a legitimate point here that Jose brought, because let's be honest, I don't understand why people keep saying that the Miami Dolphins don't develop players when the Miami Dolphins are the number one developing team in the NFL. We just develop for other teams. We don't develop for us. Every player, man, you go back 10, 15, 20 years. They come in. I mean, the easiest example, Wes Welker. Came in, drafted him, got him started, developed him, goes to New England, and look at that massive success. Thank God he's back as our wide receivers coach. So shout out to you, Coach Wes. But come on. Time and time again, we develop players. They go off to other teams and poof, blow up. And you're like, why couldn't you do that here? They were in that trajectory, but the Dolphins didn't keep them. Didn't build around them. Didn't put them in a situation where they could show us, that type of level of play. So when people say we don't do it, no, it's not. That's not the case. And shout out to everybody, man. I see all you guys coming in. I appreciate it. If you are new to Miss Phins, do me a favor. Hit the like button, guys. Let's continue to grow the channel. We are growing every single day. We're gonna continue to grow. And I'm gonna take a second here. I'm so blessed. First of all, that I woke up this morning. So if you're watching this, you're blessed too that you woke up this morning. Okay? And I'm blessed because I get an opportunity to do something that I love to do, which is talk about my Dolphins with you guys. So thank you. We're going to continue to do this. And like I said, for the off season, just the off season, because again, there are a lot of moving parts and it tends to be a lot. But this off season, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. Today, I don't know about myself, not good at that. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, this off season, you're gonna catch Miss Phins Eastern time, 8 a.m. Eastern time. And then throughout the season, like I have for the last 3 years, you're gonna have Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, and Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. with my co-host for League Wide Wednesday, Mr. Color Commentary, guys. Another fun show that will be coming in, I would say within the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna have a special show just for the Olympics. I already have a co-host lined up, and they're very excited to go ahead and start. And I can't wait to you guys to see it. It's gonna be a weekly show, so we're gonna really enjoy doing that. But I wanted to just go ahead and remind you, we are doing the Olympics as well. So shout out to everybody, man. We got almost 500 people in the building right now. So guys, hit that like button. If you're on Twitter and Twitch, do me a favor. In my bio, there is a link that says Miss Phins or youtube.com/Miss Phins. Click that link. It'll take you to the show. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. That's the only way. We're trying to get to 2,000 before the season starts, and that could only happen with you guys. So thank you for your help. Now let's continue. Jose also says, I picture Stafford retires in retiring soon and Tua signing or getting traded to the Rams. I don't know about that. Good morning, Steve. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing? Good morning, Dolphinaticas. Good morning, Miss Vinzaroni. I like that. I like that. Liz, welcome. Welcome. Good morning, Miss Vince and everyone. How you doing, Liz, my friend? Yes. EM, how you doing, my friend? Good morning to you, sir. Good morning. Okay. I think I got everybody. Oh, wait. What's up, AB? Oh, now Tua's talented. I thought you said he sucks. First of all, AB, good morning, sir. And second, I've always said he's talented. That I don't know what, but I'm gonna tell you how it is. When he's doing great, awesome. When he sucks, he sucks. There's no other way of doing it. And he sucked before. It is what it is. Be blessed to be able to wake up late, get a slow start, and still get to see Miss Phins. Oh, yay! That's awesome. Enjoy, man. Enjoy. So, let's continue. As far as when it comes to, I understand this is a hot topic. Literally, the entire league is seeing this. And it's not just us, guys. Like, other sports leagues are looking at this, right? They're like, why is this one guy not getting a contract and literally everybody else around him in the same position getting contracts? Tua, unlike everybody else in his category, which of QB, it's not in the same situation as everybody else. He's not in the same situation as anybody he was drafted with before or after. And he's not anybody in the same situation as anybody that's currently playing that maybe is still in a starting role or in a backup role, because we've already seen that happen. So what people need to understand is Tua Tagovailoa is his own bubble. And because it's such a unique position that the Dolphins are in, they're going to be very, very careful about what they do for the next contract. Look, I forgot who I was listening to, but somebody said it, and I agree. This is one of the biggest contracts the Dolphins will negotiate within the last 20 years. Easily one of the biggest contracts that they're going to have to do their due diligence in, because it's a QB position. It's the most important position across all sports. You can get away with not having a point guard in basketball and have a shooting guard take care of it. I mean, at this point, the forwards, some centers are bringing down the ball. So you can get away with not having a point guard, which is technically the leader on the court, in basketball, and having someone else fill in. In football, your quarterback is your quarterback. You know what I mean? So because of that, they're being very, very careful about what they do. Couple things we got to recognize. Number one, he's already under contract for this year, guys. $23.2 million is a 5-year option. We exercised it. He's already signed it. He is already in-house. Like unless he doesn't want to get paid, because if he doesn't show up, he's giving up that money. You know what I mean? 2, with Tua, we still have the option of, after this year, we can still franchise tag him for the 2 years after that. So technically, we could still get Tua. It'll be a little expensive, but we can still get Tua for these 3 years without signing him to a long-term deal. That is a possibility. So, hey, we got Lewis in the building. What's up, Lewis? Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Superfish, how you doing? Good morning, folks. Finn said it. Your QB is your QB. It's the most important position. Okay, that's what it is. I don't agree. Tua does measure up to the guys in his draft. No, I didn't say that he didn't measure up as far as talent wise. I'm saying his contractual situation is different than anybody he was drafted with before or after he was drafted. I'm only talking about contracts, people. I'm not talking about his physical ability or his playing ability in this aspect of this conversation right now. So because of that, who has the ball? Who flinches first? Who needs to go ahead and do it? And to be honest with you, the Dolphins, in my opinion, they don't have anyone else that they need. They don't have anybody else that they're competing against because we already have them under contract. There's no other team coming out here and telling us, hey, Dolphins, or at least hasn't been reported yet, we want to go ahead and trade for Tua. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So, as far as Tua is concerned, it's all on the Dolphins to just sit back and chill. Tua has athletes first, which we know has the top players in the league and have gotten massive contracts for their clients. That's their job. They're supposed to do that, ladies and gentlemen. So I will never be upset if a player wants more money. You're supposed to want more money. One thing that I've heard this from multiple people, mainstream media, some behind the scenes, other content creators, is not all, but I've heard some that, hey, this is more of it seems that Tua is really more on the business side than the playing side. What I mean by that, it's more of, how some guys are eat, sleep, drink, like everything, basketball or anything, football or anything IT, whatever they're absolutely obsessed about. And other guys are just like, hey, I have a job. I'm here to do my job. Let's keep it moving. Nothing wrong with either one, ladies and gentlemen. But from what I'm getting and gathering is that Tua might be more of the business side of this. I'm here to do a job and I want to go ahead and get paid. Nothing wrong with that. And that might frustrate some fans because it's like, you want to see, I guess, a little more passion from the head of your team. Well, everybody's different. There's nothing wrong with that. But I personally am very happy that the Dolphins are taking their sweet time in doing this deal. Sweet, 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 sweet time in doing this deal. Because last offseason I said I'm willing to pay him $300 million, fully guaranteed. But I need to see him play at a high level consistently and not just for 1 year. So for me, let him play in the 5th-year option. Give me back-to-back years where you're playing at a high level, which anybody that denies that Tua wasn't playing at a high level, I don't know what to tell you. Take a look at the numbers. They will tell you themselves. Tua was playing at a very high level this past season, played all 17 games, was able to stay healthy. And one thing that I've mentioned, he has done every single season since he was drafted. He has learned how to maneuver that pocket. That's one of the skills that I say Tua has gotten better every single year. Why? Naturally, you have to as a quarterback, especially when you don't have a top-ranked O-line that's going to be a wall for you. But he has learned how to maneuver that O-line. And I love that skill about him. And now you see with the jiu-jitsu and all the growth that he's had, guess what? He stayed healthy for us. That's what we needed from you. But I can't have it just a one and done. I don't need you to be a one-hit wonder. I want you to have multiple platinum albums for me. And how do you do that? I need you to show me this multiple years. So that way, when I give you this contract to reset the market, like somebody said here, and Tua said it in his conference, the market's a market. That simply tells me I'm getting paid. either by you guys or someone else. Okay, cool. No problem. The market is the market. Then that means I get to take my time and really evaluate the market and see where are you at and where do I need you to be so we can meet that market together. Okay? And with that, that's why you see this taking so long. I personally think, and from what I hear, two things about this contract. Well, three actually. One, injury clause. And I think that you would be very irresponsible by not having an injury clause into your contract. Maybe Tua doesn't want it, but I can see why the team would want that because you have to be responsible about your team. You just cannot have someone that has had different types of injuries, both physical and the conscious. So that injury clause is one of them. The second thing is the length of the contract. The length of the contract. And ladies and gentlemen, besides Jalen Waddle and Austin Jackson that we just recently signed this past year, right? This offseason, this past year. Do you see any of our other players getting extended past 2026? Is this still a win now team? Because based on everything if you're looking at the team, this is a win now team. This is a we're we're winning within the next 2 years or we're rebooting. That's what that tells me. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you don't see guys, really, you don't see guys getting extended past 2026 like that. So, number one, the injury clause. Number two, the length of the contract. Meaning, am I going to guarantee 2 years? Am I going to guarantee 3 years? Are you going to guarantee 4 years? Because that's when you come into the fully guaranteed monies. I could care less about the fluff number. And you guys, if you're a Miss Phins fan, which a lot of you are, thank you so much for coming. You know, I call it the fluff numbers. That's the number that's different between the fully guaranteed number and what everyone tends to use. Like, oh my God, the average salary, yearly salary. That's that number. I call it the fluff number. Why? Because the average salary is going to encompass everything: salary, bonuses, all that good stuff. But players don't tend to really play out their entire contract. There's usually an out for teams, so they don't get to see that money. The money they do get to see is the one that's fully guaranteed, and not fully guaranteed the money. That is the real number. That's the real contract. That's why you can see somebody like a Trevor Lawrence getting $55 million average annual income, but only getting $142 million fully guaranteed. Okay, cool. So you have what? 2 years guaranteed in your contract? 3 years guaranteed in your contract? Then after that, they can go ahead and leave and have very minimal debt cap. And that's what that means. So it seems the length of contract is also an issue. And last but not least, is overall going to be how much fully guaranteed money he gets. So you got fully guaranteed money, the length of contract, and the injury clause. Those are the top 3 reasons why, for me, I see this not being done. And I'm not surprised because he wants to get paid. He wants to get paid. And there is nothing wrong with that. But the team also has to look out for themselves. Now, Chris Greer, via hold on, aggressively wanted to get Tua. Let me use that word. He wanted to get Tua. He drafted Tua, even though reports have come out. Brian Flores said he didn't want to get Tua. He didn't want to get somebody that's coming off of a career injury, a career ending injury, like Tua did coming out of Alabama. So when you're dealing with somebody that's injured like that, you're not going to be able to use them right away. But it's a shiny new toy. Everybody loves them and everybody wants to have them. And we're going to sell a lot of t-shirts and we're going to sell a lot of season tickets. And you see what I mean? So the money aspect, the business aspect of the NFL, it makes sense. But for the football aspect, I could see why you're hesitant and wanted to pick up somebody that just had such a massive injury. You see? But now look at him 4 years later. Look at what he's able to accomplish. Can he continue in this trajectory? I forgot who I was listening to that said that if Tua were to continue the way he had the same year stats that he did last year for the next 10 years, he will outperform Marino and like a bunch of stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. That's awesome. Can we stop doing a disservice to Tua by trying to compare him to Marino? Marino's Marino and his era is his era. Tua's in a completely different era with completely different rules. It is unfair to continue to try to get and compare Tua like that. Just let the man be. Let him be. Let him what do you call it? Let him go ahead and just be Tua. Can Tua be the best Tua he can be? Is that possible? I almost feel like people really don't want to give him that grace. So, as far as, oops, hold on. God Lord, give me a second, guys. Ooh, wee. Okay. Now, are we worried? I'm not worried. I'm not worried whatsoever. And the reason why I'm not worried is because I don't think that it's a big deal that we take time. I think it's actually a great thing that Greer is doing, taking his time. And this might be more of a business decision than we think. This might be more like, again, might be. This is just my opinion. I'm not making this a fact. This might be more like maybe they're not as sold as they may portray, you know? So they really want to make sure that they got they got the guy they wanted to go ahead and do. You see what I mean? They might want to take a chance to do it. Now, I know that with this particular conversation, I have raised some eyebrows, which I love. And shout out to the almost 1,000 of you guys. Hi guys. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, welcome. I appreciate you catching Miss Fans. Typically, I'm at 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. So come check it out early in the morning for your Dolphins content. And throughout the in season, I'm Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. So go ahead and come check it out. But yeah, I've dropped the link. If you guys want to give me your 3 cents, yeah, I said 3. Feel free. Tell me why you're worried or why you're not worried. Because I don't think I'm worried about this. I think that this is exactly how the Dolphins needed to work this out. And oh my God, I really wish I could say. I really wish, but I can't. And the reason being is right now, man, You know what makes this even worse? Is that Tua is such a good guy. You know, Tua's wholesome. He's a husband, a father, brother, son. I don't know if he's an uncle. I don't think he's an uncle yet. Maybe. I don't know. But oh snap. Michelle, shout out to Michelle, one of our awesome members. Inflation, Miss Phins, more like 5 cents. Oh my God, Michelle, that was genius. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's up, Insanity? I thought I thought I sent the invitation out here. Miss Phins was busy at 8 a.m. dancing, celebrating the Big Panthers win. Oh, I definitely was celebrating that, but I also had an appointment, so. Timothy says the longer Tua waits, the more he could make. Don't let Jordan Love get paid before Tua. Ooh. Wow. Genius. That's why I'm in finance. I love it. Love it. I don't think it's an uncle yet. Thank you for all these quotes. Thank you. Hey, we got one of the awesome members of the channel. Let me hold on because I gotta get my headset real quick. Holy smokerooskies. This man, super talented, by the way, guys. Absolutely super talented. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. So let me go ahead and bring him on here. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the awesome and ever absolutely great football voice. Like literally, this man was built. He was built for the radio. What's up, Hooked Up Joe?
Okay, you overhyped it, so now I'm gonna suck. No,
What?
no,
Oh,
I
stop.
appreciate it. I really do. Um, yeah, this is a tough spot. It's I think athletes first wants
Mm-hmm.
they have a name to uphold, so they don't want to get a contract for a big player like Tua that's got low guaranteed money and a bunch of incentives like we would like to see, because it kind of reflects on them that they had to go with an incentive based contract to get it done. And I think we're seeing some serious hardball
Mm-hmm.
happening on the part of, I'm going to call them agents first from now on, because it's all about their own name as
Oh
much.
yeah.
Um, at the
And
same
commission.
time, is Tua doing what we would expect or like him to do when it comes to talking to his agent and saying, "This is really where I want to be. I understand where I'm at with injuries and everything. Trying, if 55 isn't working, what can we do to make it work?" Is he in there doing
That's
that,
true.
or is he completely hands off and just said, "I'm going to get agents first as my agent. I'm going to maximize my dollar amount. I'm going to become uninvolved with it and just say it's all them." But it's not all them when you're the one that went out and got agents first as your agent.
Mm. I mean, you're speaking too much truth, and this is the thing that is that even bad? No, I totally understand why Tua would want to go ahead and try to get his money. I mean, any reasonable person or anybody that wants to pretend like they're holier than thou, and I would never, I would never take them. I would never take more money from my team because I love my team so much. Stop. Every single one of us that doesn't have or make millions of dollars, you're absolutely going to be taking as much money as you can. Why? Because why not? Why would you leave money on the table? That literally makes no sense. And when it comes to athletes first, you said it. They have a reputation to uphold, and they represent some of the biggest athletes, not just in football, but if I'm not mistaken, in um other sports too. So
It almost
hey,
feels like they have a monopoly on the freaking players. At some point, it seems like there should be some required distribution of agents, because if everybody has one agent, where's the competition for rates?
ooh, So yeah, it's funny. That's a conversation that was had like 10 years ago. I still remember when it came to basketball because of the amount of athletes that were with, I think, just literally a handful of agents, and that was one of the main issues that was being seen. Like now, you're seeing the massive tampering of, oh, you're gonna have your one player try to get to this other team because they have the same agent and blah 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 blah. It's like great that you have this, excuse me, the same agent, but that doesn't mean that you should um be tampering like that. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think that's to me that's a good point, Joe. I agree. It's an excellent point because again, when you're dealing with athletes and millions of dollars and egos and reputations, they're gonna try to do it. Now, somebody asked this question. Jose asked this question, another one of our members. Did Tua hire athletes first before or after his injury? So Tua actually hired athletes first, if I'm not mistaken, last offseason. So this was after his initial, or not initial, but the major hip injury. So he definitely did change. He fired his representation and then got the athletes first. But are you worried about the contract, or are you worried about the season, Hotep Joe?
I'm not worried about I'm not worried about the contract with him that much because I think it will get done. But we we don't have franchise tag leverage because we don't have money in 25 to handle a even if it's only 40, say it was only 45 million for franchise tag, because of the way that the contracts have laid out, it would be a definite financial benefit for us. We're already over the cap in 25 with no QB1 on the books at all. We do not have $45 million worth of extra cuts that we can make and still do everything else we need to do in the offseason and get everybody players that we're losing next year and sign our draft class. We just do not have, in my mind, leverage with that franchise tag. I can't.
Wow, I didn't realize you
Yeah,
had me
I'm
muted.
sorry. I was sitting here trying to
Yeah.
see if my because sometimes I
No,
sit
no,
on my,
wasn't you?
my
It was
speaker
me.
and it
Oh
goes
my
down.
god. Well, what I was saying is that a key example is like the New Orleans Saints, who are almost always $100 million over the cap and somehow end up being under it every single year. A different situation, I get it, but there's almost always different opportunities for teams to be able to be creative when it comes to the tag. So I'm not too worried about that as far as the future, because again, it would just take some massive reworking from Greer if he's still here.
On every other
Um,
player. That's the
look
thing
at the
is usually
yeah.
it's your QB you're reworking. So if we get the contract done, that first contract year he's going to have like $2 million on the books. He's going to get a ton of upfront money, and everything's going to be splattered out for the rest of his contract. And that's a $40 million difference in cap space. So it's a consideration. I did stop worrying about cap about 2 years ago because I was always a cap, cap, cap. Oh my God. And then it worked out. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of worrying about the cap space. So I'm not worried about the cap space. It just logically, it is a concern.
Of course, which makes sense. It makes sense. And we got another. I mean, one of your big fans hooked up, Joe, and one of my. I'm a huge fan of the Rabbit Dolphin, aka Mr. Lewis here. Sir, are you worried at all about this extension or this season, if you will? Good morning to you, Lewis.
Well, good morning to you both. No, I'm not really worried about.
Cybertron, you sound
No,
like
I,
like a cyborg, sir. Bzz, 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 bzz. So, he'll come back, but yeah, I think it might have been his headset or something. But you can hear me clearly, though, correct?
Yeah, we can hear you good. Yeah, it was definitely some microphone.
Okay, I
action
just
happen
wasn't.
there.
I want to make sure it wasn't him, like it wasn't me, but it's Lewis in outer space, right? So this is the thing. Now, I said earlier that from what I'm hearing, or at least my opinion, and what I think what's the biggest holdup is um injury, the injury clause, the overall years of fully guaranteed money, and the overall guaranteed money. So you think anything different might be a holdup in this contract?
I
And
don't.
we'll come back, Lewis.
No, I think you're spot on there. That would. I think you're just spot on. What's up, Lewis?
Perfect.
Do I sound better now?
Oh, marvelous.
Beautiful, man. Loud and clear. Yes.
All right, sweet, sweet. Well, good morning to you both.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I would say for me, I'm not really concerned like others. I see both sides of the part. I understand why Tua is asking or wants the money he's asking for, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it from his perspective. Go out there and get your money, as much money as you can, young man, right? And then from the
Absolutely.
Dolphin side, I absolutely get the approach they're taking as well. Like they got to worry about not just one player. They got to oversee the entire organization, right? And they got to protect
Mm-hmm.
themselves. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not here to say who's right, who's wrong. What I will say though is when I hear, and again, I'm just going off the top of the head, I don't know how many quarterbacks Athletes First is representing, right? But I know the three that they're representing that don't have no contract. And that's Tua, that's Dak, and that's Jordan Love, right? And when I look at it, I kind of see the point of, yeah, they're trying to look out for their guys or whatever, but I just think they're doing a bad job.
You
Because
think
let's
so?
say, absolutely, because let's say for the sake of argument, Dak don't get a new deal. Jordan Love plays on this fifth-year option, and so does Tua. Realistically, next season, how many teams are looking for starting quarterbacks?
The
God,
average
God,
is usually about like 10 to 12.
yeah, but I don't think it's going to be that high though, because teams that are kind of like set up, kind of like where we thought we were or where we think we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those teams are not looking for quarterbacks.
Oh
And
no.
virtually almost a lot of teams, remember, 6 first-rounders went last year just alone, right? Those teams are not looking for quarterbacks. And then bottom feeders, let's say this year, that have top 10 picks or whatever. If I told you, usually those teams that are in the top 10, they're not winning many games, right? So they're probably pieces away, multiple pieces away for them to
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, if as long as we had this guy in their center, we could have a legitimate shot of winning something, making a strong playoff push. I don't see those kind of teams reaching out for a Dak Prescott that wants 50 plus million, a Tua that wants in the high 40s to 50 million, a Jordan Love that those teams why would you go pay a quarterback that amount of money when you need a left tackle, a right guard, a running back? How about a number
Mm-hmm.
one weapon? How about, you know what I'm saying? It just
Yeah.
like it's not lining up. For me, these three quarterbacks right here, it's like wrong timing. If you ask me, the quarterback market to me is kind of dry. It would be a bad look if all three went
Mm,
into next season without a contract, because then you're pinning your clients virtually against themselves, right? Like, I,
yeah,
I,
that I
I
see what you
don't,
mean. I see what you
I
mean. It's
don't,
supply and
I,
demand. There's no demand, so you
it
can't
just
really
looks
be
Miss
asking
Fins,
as much.
Miss Fins and Joe. It just looks like for me, and again, I'm just putting my 2 cents out there, right? But it looks like Tua, Dak, and Jordan Love would get the most money in their current situations. I don't think none of those guys are leaving their teams respectfully and going in the open market and getting at least I'll say it like this, what Athletes
Mm-hmm.
First is projecting them to get. I don't think they get that in the open market, if you ask me. It's a better
Mm.
situation, in my opinion, for those three guys to try to work out deals in their current situation, because I think in Miami, Green Bay, and Dallas, that's where the money, maybe not what they're looking for, but top end dollar, I believe it's in their current situations, not getting outside. But that's where I'm at.
Wow.
Right.
What do you
And
think, Joe?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's your other risk that Tua's running here is that the market's not going to be that great. And like you said, what are we going to do? Play musical chairs and all just switch quarterbacks just for the hell of it? It just doesn't make any sense
Mm-hmm.
to do that. So, I don't think it's like the Wilkins deal. Wilkins had lots of teams that are going to pay Wilkins the little bit of difference in Wilkins money. Um, you're not talking QB market. So yeah, I'm with Lewis here that it it's going to be interesting to see what happens if and when one of these teams finally calls the bluff and says, I'm not doing it. I'm not paying your ransom fees. Go see if you can get that somewhere else and see what happens.
And I mean
Hopefully it's not us.
yeah, hopefully we're not the ones that does that, because it just almost seems like we would. But I think that at this point that Greer really is taking his time. It might not even be Greer. It could be the man upstairs, Ross. It's literally saying I'm not.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yes, Stephen Ross. The one that's like, no, we can wait. Not that he's not willing to pay him, but more like we can wait, because again, we're already paying him $23 million. It's not like, you know what I mean, like, oh my god, he's a free agent and we can't get him. No, we have him under contract. We have all year that we want to. And you know what, the worst thing that Tua can do is just sit out, because you're not going to make that money, A, and B, you're not going to be showcasing to the other teams who may potentially want to pick you up and pay you that money if you're not playing. So regardless, Tua, to me, that's why I'm not worried about the season, because I think whether we sign him to a deal or not, Tua's playing the season. It would make no sense for
Mhm.
him not to play, in my opinion, because then he's doing a disservice to
1000%.
himself
Yeah,
and
a
not
thousand.
showcasing himself to these other teams, if that's what he was looking for. I don't know. That's just me. And
Oh
that's
yeah,
why I'm not worried.
1000%. Listen, he's playing this season with or without a contract. No,
Mm-hmm.
I've yet to see a human being walk away from $23.5 million guaranteed. I've yet to see that day. That's not happening. So he is going to
I
play
mean,
this season.
we saw Dave Chappelle, but that's a different story.
Well, that is a different story,
Yeah.
right? But I listen. I can't see Tua sitting out, right? I think he shows up,
Mm-hmm.
and I brought this scenario up. I think it was yesterday in one of the Twitter Spaces, Miss Phins, because people were arguing, is the fifth year option a bad thing? I think a deal gets done. I do think the deal is the better thing for us, because I'm one of the ones I do believe in Tua. I think Tua can get the job done. Now I will say this about the fifth year option though. Could it be, because remember the Baltimore Ravens let Lamar Jackson play in the fifth year option? And I'm
That
not
is
going to
true.
tell you about that. I just brought up the Baltimore Ravens to tell you this. They also let another quarterback play on the fifth year options, Miss Fins and Joe.
Joe
His
Flacco.
name his name was Joe Flacco. And all Joe Flacco did in that fifth year option year was go on his in historic playoff run that I believe it was 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. Oh yeah, and winning the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
I mean,
Right?
hey, he also had like one of the top all-time defenses
Uh,
in
uh,
Ray Lewis and
well,
IP. But
again,
yes,
I'm just,
he did elevate himself.
it
He
was to push
boosted
himself,
himself
and
and
that's the point.
elevated
Absolutely.
himself. So one
Absolutely.
thousand percent, one thousand
Right.
percent, and that's why he
He
got the bag. He got
and
the
and that's
biggest
why he got the bag.
contract that year
Absolutely.
out of
Absolutely.
all QBs.
But it's kind of case in point on how come incentive based contracts would be better for the NFL just to get
Hmm.
better competition for everybody all the way across the board.
Oh yeah, one thousand
That
percent. Yeah.
That's true. And these are the things that maybe sometimes as fans we don't really like think about, because obviously a lot of us are like, pay the man, pay the man. Look, he was healthy all 17 games. That's great. But I've always said one thing I need is consistency at a high level. And so did Greer. Do people not remember what this man said at the beginning of the offseason? Yeah, we absolutely want to go ahead and I'm paraphrasing, absolutely want to go ahead and do it. Work. We see Tua being here long term, playing at a high level. It's like people glossed over that last part of that line. We want to see Tua here playing long term, playing at a high level. And I don't know how people miss it. I'm like, that is one of the key points, in my opinion. Another reason why you don't see this contract being rushed, because they're saying, okay, sure, we can pay you, but we want to see you do this more than one. You know what I mean? Maybe they want to pay him only 2 years, because again, this roster, we've seen Tua with not having this roster, and we've seen Tua with this roster. All 4 years Tua has been an NFL quarterback. He's progressed year after year. Anybody that wants to deny that, I cannot help you. The numbers dictate that he has progressed. But the thing is, now this 5th year coming up, we don't have these role players around him in both defense and offense for longer than 2026. So they're telling you, the Dolphins are telling you, this is our window. We got these 2 years. This is our window. And that's it, essentially. And what are you going to do? You don't want to put yourself in a long-term 5-year deal, guarantee 4, but you only have this quality team for 2 of them. You're shooting yourself in the foot, and it makes no sense, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think. Yeah, listen. I think you could do a 5. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think it's the deal. I don't think it's the years of the contract or anything like that. I think Tua wants to be, even if he's not trying to reset the market, he's trying to be top 3, in my opinion. He wants to be in the high 40s, right? I believe the highest contract guaranteed wise annually is 47 million. I think that's where Tua wants to be, around 46, 47. And hell, if he wants to reset the market, maybe 48, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Tua's that. But this is what, when I first got in Miss Phins, and I don't know how long he had been in before I got here. But the reason I brought up Herbert, neither one has a playoff win. Neither one has a division title. If we're just talking about stats and stuff, okay, cool. Herbert's stats are better, I think, touchdown-wise and yardage-wise, right? But Tua's winning percentage then is higher. And again, last 2 seasons, whether we like to hear it or not, MVP conversations from national media. I'm not talking about what fans say. From the national media. So again, those players even out, in my opinion, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Herbert got 218 guaranteed on a 5-year deal. If you break that down, it's $42.5 million a year. If you're asking me if Tua has earned that kind of contract, I would say yes. Because Herbert and Tua are virtually the same quarterback, right? And the way you structure it, Miss Phins, you know how this thing works. You can front load that contract. Like, look at Lamar Jackson, for instance. He signed a long-term deal, but if you look at his contract, they can get up out of it. I think it's either after this year or maybe even next year.
I think after next year.
I think it's next year. So really, it was essentially a 3-year deal. You could do the same thing with Tua. Even the numbers will say 5, right? But you could, signing bonus here. We're going to do this, and if he keeps balling again or gets better, you restructure that. You can manipulate it from there. But that, just from Herbert's standpoint, right? When I look at it, if we're just talking about stats, yeah, Tua has some better than him. He has some better than Tua. No division, no playoff win. They're virtually the same. It's hard for me to again, take feelings aside. If you just look at it from that perspective, Tua does deserve that. I would have no problem giving Tua $42.5 million a year. Hell, you want to make him higher than Burrow?
Or overall average? Because that's
not the average. You said it best. The average number is fluff. If they come out today and say, "Oh, Tua Tagovailoa just set the NFL record. He got a 5-year deal of $500 million," but then behind that it said, out of that $500 million, 185 of it is guaranteed. Are you really worried about that $500 million?
No, he's never going to see that $500 million.
He's never going to see that.
Play all the years to be able to see that. That's not going to happen.
And just like Tyreek Hill and seeing $45 million you know.
Exactly.
Perfect
Oh,
example, Joe. Perfect
hey,
example. Tyreek has 2 years left on his deal, but he has no guaranteed money left. What is he looking for? More
Guaranteed
guaranteed
money.
guaranteed
money.
money.
Thank
Hey,
you.
my appointment showed up, so I got to run. Thanks for having me
Awesome,
up.
Joe.
Good to see you
Thank you,
again,
thank you,
Lewis.
thank you.
And
All
of
right, Joe.
course,
Absolutely, Joe.
yes.
Nice to
Well,
see
take
you here,
care.
man.
Fins up.
Thank you. But you're right, Lewis, and that's what maybe people that don't understand contracts don't see that. It's that's why I said the three things is the injury clause, the
Hmm.
length of the contract guarantees money, and then how much guaranteed money. Because if we're being honest, who has been the smartest quarterback within the last 10 years in contracts? And to me, Kirk Cousins.
It's
The
Kirk
man
Cousins.
has gotten
Absolutely.
2-year contracts almost every single time after his rookie contract, and they've all been fully guaranteed. The man has been making 35 million fully guaranteed, $40 million fully guaranteed, $45 million fully guaranteed. But because it's only 2-year contract, people don't think, oh, that's just 2-year contract. What they don't realize is that entire 2 years is fully guaranteed. So what these other players are trying to get these long contracts, they're now trying to get that money. Kirk Cousins has been doing it for over almost 10 years. And he's been making all this money. I'm like, yeah, give me the 2 years fully guaranteed. He's a genius. His agent is a genius. If I'm a player, I want his agent because it's a genius move.
Yeah, he's played the system. He's played the game really well. Kirk
Exactly.
Cousins,
To
he's
get
played the
his
game the
money.
right way. Yeah,
He
absolutely.
just got $100 million fully guaranteed from Atlanta
Hmm.
for a 4-year contract. But I think it's like 140, 100 million fully guaranteed. Like the man, genius, absolutely genius. Now
Absolutely.
quarterbacks are trying to get that. And
Yeah.
when you look at the numbers, that's why I pulled them up because you were talking about Lamar and Herbert. Look, if we take a look at just the Herbert contract, like you and I were talking about, Herbert's total value $262.5 million,
Hmm.
average 52.5 a year,
Hmm.
but his total guaranteed is 193. His
Hmm.
fully guaranteed is 133. What does that mean? That he can earn up to 193 with the incentives and depending on what year, depending on how the contract was set up. If he sometimes they set it up where if he is on the roster, then it'll click another 20 million that'll be fully guaranteed and things like that. But having this kind of contract, it's not a bad contract at all. And although he's technically gonna be an unrestricted free agent in 2030, you really don't think they don't have an out afterward, prior to that? They
Oh,
absolutely do.
1000%. Yeah.
Absolutely do. So I'm okay with giving to a hey, you want to give him $90 million for 2 years, make it $45 million each year, but it's really a 3-year contract
Hmm.
or 4-year contract? Okay, cool. But I don't think it's gonna be more than 2 years fully guaranteed. More for sure, I do not see that being more than 3 years fully guaranteed. I don't care if it's a 6-year contract; they're only guaranteeing 2 years, three max, maybe. Because again, look at the weapons around him. No one's here past 26. Maybe one or two might be here 27. We know what Tua is because we keep hearing all these other fans who keep telling us Tua had nobody his first 2 years. That's why he couldn't do anything. Okay, back to back seasons mean nothing, sure. Back to back winning seasons mean that. Do they not realize that he's had winning seasons every single year he's been here? But, they want to pretend like he had scrubs. You know what I mean? They weren't this quality talent, true, but he didn't have scrubs either, because you wouldn't be winning games if you weren't at least a decent team. And we've always been a 500 team. So right now, guess what? It goes to show that Tua Tagovailoa, he's playing with fire, and I don't think he's gonna be. It's gonna be too wise for him to be playing that kind of fire with this kind of market, because I think you nailed it. There's no other teams really that need quarterbacks like that. The ones that did need, they just picked them up in the draft this year.
Hmm.
And then maybe the rotation will be maybe another 4 teams next year that might need. Maybe. But
And,
there's
and it,
quarterbacks coming out next year.
exactly, because that's what the point. Let's say there's 4 or 5 teams, right? Okay, cool. But let's say 2 out of those 5 or 3 out of those 5 get quarterbacks in the draft. Now, and again, to the point of Jordan Love, Tua, and Dak, let's say all be on the market. You got 3 quarterbacks available with only 2 teams. It's just, it would be bad. It's just a bad look for athletes first, for those quarterbacks and stuff. I don't like the approach. I would really love to know how many quarterbacks athletes first represents and who they are, because the simple fact we know those 3. I would love to see if they're representing any more.
I think I heard, I'm not sure, I'd have to research it. I don't want to lie to you, but I'm pretty sure I heard that there's like 2 quarterbacks right now, 2 starting quarterbacks that they represented that got big contracts. I don't remember who they were, but I'd have to double check. It to your point, and I don't think a lot of people even realize that the last 3 guys really that are in the bubble of getting contracts are under the same agency, and none of them have gotten a contract.
Yeah.
So what are you doing here? You're gonna be split the Packers? Are the Packers picking up Tua, Lewis? Yes or no?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. The Packers another Packers. What's the other team? Oh my gosh, and you just said it. My brain.
Dallas?
It's Jordan Love. Dallas, thank you. And Dallas picking up Tua to have him play over there. Yes or no?
I mean, why would they pick up Tua? They could just keep Dak. They're again
exactly
almost the same guy, and I'm not talking about play style or whatever, but I'm just talking about a lot of the things we talk about Tua. I'm sure the Dallas fans say about Dallas or Dak that he can't win the biggest games. He kind of shrinks in the biggest. Those same conversations. So it's just hard for me to believe that Dallas would pick up Tua and just let go of Dak. For what? You already got virtually Tua in house, right? Like, and it don't make sense.
It really doesn't make sense because take a look at it. What's one thing they keep saying about the Dolphins? That the Dolphins are the Cowboys of the AFC.
Of the AFC, exactly.
Or vice versa. You know, the Cowboys are the Dolphins of the AFC. And what do we mean by that? Is middle of the road teams, 500 teams. Teams that will get you to the first round, because guess what? We've been there consistently, for the last 2 years, and do nothing. So if all you want to do is make the playoffs, you're good. You got your guys. They will get you to the playoffs. But last time I checked, people want a Super Bowl. Am I wrong? Because I don't think I am. And I forgot who I was listening to. I thought it was a great point that they mentioned. Daniel Jones and the New York Giants aren't really looking. They know they don't have a team yet that the team can compete. So they're okay. They have to spend the money, and they have to be able to go ahead and give Daniel Jones his money. They did, but that was really a 2-year fully guaranteed contract. And I think they can opt out in the 3rd year and pay very minimal in that cap. So did they really stranglehold themselves? No, they're just buying time with a quarterback that can decently run their offense. So that way, when a new quarterback class that's projected to come in, they'll be able to go ahead and draft their new quarterback. And I think that a lot of people sometimes forget these teams aren't looking at just year 1, year 2. They're doing projections for year 3, year 4. They're looking at these freshmen that are going in, these high schoolers going into college, and their year, their freshman year, sophomore year. Okay, when are they gonna come out? Junior year, who's really prepared and can they run my offense? And right now, to your point, man, I think you nailed it. Athletes first right now might be doing a disservice to Tua, and Tua might not even know it, and that's even worse. I mean, I get it. You want to get your own money, get your money. Nothing wrong with that, but hey. There's no one, there's no other team right now, realistically, that's looking for.
I mean, go through the teams. I mean, you don't have to do it now on the show or nothing like that. But from what me and Miss Phins are talking about now, if you're listening to this in your head, go division by division, team by team, and ask yourself next year, out of those teams, who is looking for quarterbacks trying to get paid access between $45 to $50 million a year. Do it like that, and you tell me realistically how many of those teams exist.
Lewis, we can do it real quick right now. It won't even take us that long. If you start in the NFC West, you got the Cardinals, you got the Rams, you got the 49ers, you got the Seahawks. Seahawks have Geno Smith under contract till, I believe, next year, who's fully guaranteed. And then after that, they can opt out. They're not really looking for a quarterback right now because they already got their quarterback. San Francisco has what? Brock Purdy, who, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Brock Purdy get paid, or is he about to get paid next year?
He's about
If
to
I'm
get
not
paid.
mistaken. Yeah, he's about to get paid. Young, developed, last pick. Yeah, I think they're good in what they got. The Rams have Matthew Stafford, who might be contemplating retirement, but guess what? He's still playing at a high level. So that's a maybe.
So let's take that maybe right there, Miss Phins, right? Now, this is what I was trying to say. Are the Rams like if you look at their team and their situation, are they a quarterback away to saying, you know what, we're legitimate contenders? Or do you think they need to kind of build a little bit that roster and stuff like that?
Thank you, Louis.
So if you're trying to build up a roster and you got multiple holes on your roster, let's say your linebackers are not set, you want to add a top line corner. You again, I'm not going to say nothing about their weapons, but you want to get another pass rusher because you just lost Aaron Donald. Whatever the case may be, how are you going to go and turn around and give one player what more? Not I don't want to say more than half of your salary cap. But a big percentage of your
25%. It'll be 20.
So 25% of your salary cap going to one player when you're a team trying to rebuild, and well, not rebuild, but retool in a sense or whatever. That's what I mean, Miss Phins. It's far and few between quarterbacks. Again, 6 first-rounders last year alone. Kansas City's not looking. The Chargers are not looking. The Ravens are not looking. The 49ers, they're not looking. Like, all these teams, when you look at it, they either got their quarterback last year, 2 years ago, or they're set at quarterback where they're not looking. So realistically, where's this market? That's why I said earlier, the best market for Tua is in Miami. That's his best market. Dak's best market is in Dallas. Right? Jordan Love's best market is in Green Bay. Because if those guys hit free agency, the market, it doesn't bear out the numbers that they're looking for. I can almost guarantee that.
You look at the AFC East, no team is in need besides, I would say, well, any other team besides us. And the North, none of their teams needed. They already got Ravens, Browns, Bengals, they already got their quarterbacks. Steelers just picked up their young QB that they just drafted. Texans are good. Colts are good. Jags are good. Titans, they got their young quarterback that they're going to be trying to develop. Same thing with the AFC West. Broncos already got their quarterback. Chiefs, obviously. Raiders, maybe. I doubt it because I'm pretty sure that they're going to try to deal with their new quarterback. And the Chargers got Herbert. So, realistically speaking, like you said, no team in the AFC is really in dire straits of an actual QB. Same thing in the NFC. I'm not seeing anybody. Maybe New Orleans.
But that's what I was saying. All these maybes, right? Even New Orleans, even the Raiders in the AFC. I get it, right? I get it. But are the Raiders Tua Tagovailoa away from going to the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not. Not like Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, when they won with Brady, that's what people didn't realize. That was a roster ready.
Absolutely.
They needed a quarterback to drive the ship. That's why when he came in, it was seamless. Yeah, it took them half the season for them to technically gel, but when they technically did, they destroyed teams and won the Super Bowl. Yep. It was that no other team had a shot of beating
and exactly. So why would the Raiders again go get a Dak Prescott for $50+ million or a Tua $50+ million when they're not winning with those guys, right? And what will people say? People, again, they'll remain nameless, but the people that say, well, Tua's such a big draw. You know the money he would bring in to where? Las Vegas? I don't think Las Vegas has a problem in bringing in money.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure they they make money, they print money at this point.
Exactly. So let's take, bro, and again, if the Raiders, let's say, suck this year, which I do think that's a 4 to 5 win team, right? They're more than likely picking in the top 10, Miss Fans. Why go get Tua or Dak or Jordan Love for 50 plus million when I can go draft a kid and have him under control for 5 years for 22 million, 23 million? Why? Why would I do it? It don't make sense.
That's
The
what people
market
don't
is
get.
not there for these quarterbacks, Miss Fans and Color. Shout out to Color. I just see him got in here. But no, the market is not there, bro.
And that's what they don't understand because, sorry, Color, real quick before you
go ahead.
For this last part. That's what they don't understand. This move by Athletes First would have made sense last offseason when teams were desperate, like, my God, we need a quarterback. We need somebody. You know what I mean? Everybody drafted their quarterback. And the quarterbacks that were going to move between teams already got moved. So to your point, Lewis, which is what we've been talking about, the market is not there for them to really be. The supply is plenty. There's no demand.
Right. And the
So
market,
that's why they can't do the market's the market.
right.
The market is bearish.
And last year there was no market for a quarterback that had not completed a 17-game season. There's never a market for that.
Say that again for the people in the back that didn't hear you.
There's never a market for a quarterback that has not completed a 17-game season. So they couldn't have done that last year. Like Athletes First would have had no leg to stand on last year. Likely they tried, and that's at which point we exercised the 50-year option.
So, and this is going back to the beginning of the show when I said that, which I think, Lewis, that maybe I might not have explained it at the beginning the way I did, is where to a situation when it comes to contractually speaking is completely different because of his circumstances than anyone he got drafted with or anyone before or after him. And that's in Color, you nailed it. Another great point. Last off season, he hadn't shown that he could stay healthy for 17 seasons.
Right.
He
and
hadn't shown
what
he
have I
would look like in
maintained was the
playoffs.
purpose of exercising the 5th-year option. I've maintained it the whole time, was to set his value at that time. Nobody in the entire league, when they're thinking about picking up the phone to call Miami, they can't even pick up the phone because nobody knew what we valued Tua at. At the moment we exercised that 5th-year option, we were telling Tua, we were telling Athletes First, and we were telling the entire league, he is worth $23.7 million to us. And that's what we plan on paying him this year. If you think that he has earned more or shown you more than 23.7, that may be true. I'm not going to argue that. But do you think he has shown Jared Goff money over that 23.7? That's up to the Dolphins to decide. And thus far, they have decided not. Real quick though, you had asked about the who they represent. Lewis had asked what other quarterbacks they represent besides the 3 we're talking about. So I pulled it up really quick. Not only did I find it very interesting, the list of quarterbacks that they represent and how we've seen their contracts go, but also other players like,
oh gosh, I can't wait.
Like Antoine Winfield, like Antoine Winfield, the guy that just got the bag in Tampa as a safety. You know, that guy, he's Athletes First. Christian Wilkins, obviously. And there's Calvin Ridley, you know, guys like that, you know, that keep getting bags for really doing nothing. But anyway, here's the quarterbacks. One of them, Justin Herbert. The next one I see, Deshaun Watson. Daniel Jones. Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love, obviously. CJ Stroud, who they got $9 million for in his rookie year. Tua. Jarrett Stidham. Justin Fields. And that's
such a
kind of the rest I see
cluster
that are notable. Malik
of
Willis,
interesting players, man. That
and then a
cluster of
couple
players.
other, lesser guys nobody really knows. Brett Rippin,
and
Jake Horner.
absolutely, and out of that list that I just heard, right? Forget
Mm-hmm.
about the CJ Strouds and people that are years to come before they get at least 2 more years, right?
Right.
You're not
Exactly.
looking at CJ, so we don't even have to talk about him. If I'm athletes first, that's the contract right there. That is one man, and I said it earlier. It's Justin Herbert, and I know Dolphin fans don't want to hear it, but that's the contract because virtually they, at this point of both of their careers, 4 years in, they're the exact same guy. They're
I mean,
virtually again.
yeah,
They both had boogeymans in their division, right? One, Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes. He's in the AFC West. Ours is
true.
Josh Allen in the AFC East. Neither one, Justin Herbert or Tua, has shown the ability to beat those two gentlemen yet. They don't have division titles. They don't have playoff wins. They're TDs, right? Justin Herbert has
Mm-hmm.
more. Tua has more wins. Okay, cool, right? It's virtually now you're just arguing stats and semantics, but from on the field, right? And they're virtually the same guy in everything. That's if I'm athletes first, I'm coming to the table and saying, look, Herbert got 42.5 million. Give Tua 42.7 million, right? And call it a day. That's
I think
for
they may
me.
have done that, bro, and I just don't. I'm not sure Tua's willing to sign that, man.
And there you go, right there. So now we get to the nuts and bolts of the situation. If that's the case, right? Then hey, I'm sorry, Tua, you're going to play this season, and hopefully we win a Super Bowl, or he shows enough to where Miami will be willing to give him what he's asking for. Other than that, hey, we're going to play this 5th year out, homie, and then it's deuces.
Right,
That's
and you know what else I just noticed too with this whole thing? If they're the ones that represent Daniel Jones, he's the first one they got a bag for.
Yeah, exactly.
Which means that they looked at the landscape of the NFL and said, "This is how we're going to play it." We know the Giants are the idiots of the league. They go and draft Saquon Barkley first. You know what I mean? Like an idiot. And obviously, they were wrong, like we all knew they'd be. They get this mediocre quarterback thinking that they could do the whole run game thing with Saquon Barkley. So they said, look, if we can get them suckers to sign to set our floor at this certain level with Daniel Jones, we're going to be able to play all of our other clients off of that and definitely get them more money than that. A la Justin Herbert. Oh, of course he's worth more than Daniel Jones, right? And there you go.
This could
They
be, I
got
don't know
all their
where
other
Lewis went.
quarterbacks the money based off, setting that Daniel Jones floor.
And you know what makes it even?
And I'm sorry, Ms. Phins, I'm pretty sure the league execs are not too happy with them about that. Good.
The League 66 will never be happy about agents. Let's be real. You know what I mean? But you know one thing that makes it even interesting, dude. Daniel Jones, I still remember when he got his contract, the whole league was like, he got paid. Oh, I need to get paid then. Right? Like, wasn't that like the overall gist of like every other quarterback that was about to get paid? If Daniel Jones got paid this, I'm getting paid.
Right. And fast forward now, obviously they pushed
Oh
back
my
a little bit
God.
because Baker Mayfield didn't get that.
Because they were like, no, we're not playing that game. Look at what happened when Deshaun Watson got the $230 million fully guaranteed.
Right, but
Every
Baker's
other team
agent
said no.
But Baker's agent's not athletes first. Keep telling y'all, Baker needs to fire his agent.
Maybe, but think about it. Was the market for Baker that high, really? Let's be honest.
Well, I'm not saying that Baker's worth all that. I'm saying that he's with the wrong agent. If you take off the, you just put, look at it from the human perspective. Hey, I want these guys to get as much money as they can from these rich owners. You know what I mean? I'm with them in that regard. You know what I mean? I don't care if they stand there and twiddle their thumbs all season if the billionaires are willing to give them all those millions. Take it.
Exactly.
And so what I'm saying is Baker has the wrong agent. I'm not saying Baker's worth all that much more money. I'm just saying that obviously
He should have been
guys
able
that
to
are
eat
not
too.
worth that are getting more. Then you've got the wrong agent.
Exactly. But sign this to Tua because I think that this is what makes it. That's why I put it Tua Tua Tua. Are you worried about the season?
Right.
Because for me, it's
I
like,
mean, here's a guy that can put down on his resume. It don't matter what uniform I wore. It don't matter what people thought of me. I got you 2 playoff wins. I mean, how's that not put him up there with everybody else? I don't care if it's his 3rd contract or it's his 10th contract. How's that not put him up there with everybody else? If, like Lewis just said, we're counting playoff wins and accomplishments, I get it. I'm not disagreeing with Lewis. I'm saying, why does that shut Baker Mayfield out of the picture?
I mean, he did get the first time in how many years?
I mean, Goff, obviously, they couldn't say no to Goff for the money he got because you're talking about a guy that's gone to the Super Bowl and then to the championship game again with a different team and less weapons.
I think this makes it even more interesting about Tua's number because I think Ross really he's willing to wait. I think Ross is willing to wait. I don't think Ross cares about having he's like, I got plenty of money. I can pay him whatever.
Yeah, and
If
look,
Ross wanted to pay him $100 million sign-on bonus, he can. Like,
here's where I'm going to remind everybody for what's this? Probably now the 9th time, Miss Phins, of what of the verbiage change from Stephen Ross this year when he said, or when he hired Mike McDaniel, he added the word hopefully to winning a Super Bowl. He does not care. Okay, yes, he cares about winning. Don't get me wrong. He wants to win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying he doesn't. Okay, what I'm saying is he has proven to use his helicopter to make changes to this team despite what track and trajectory we're on, and no matter how it affects that trajectory. So, i.e., he doesn't, when it comes down to, if you're talking existentially, he doesn't care about winning. He knows eventually, especially if he's making a move like that, he's doing it because he believes that that'll cause us to win in the future. So he knows eventually the fans will be happy. If he doesn't feel it with Tua, he is not going to give up the money. It don't matter what the fans feel. Don't matter what window we're in.
And this is the thing. People forget. This is a business first. More than anything else. This is a business first.
Right, exactly. If he cared about the window, we wouldn't be on only our 3rd year with our head coach right now in that window. We'd be going into our 5th year with our coach if he cared about that window. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't right. I'm not saying he didn't think that was a better move. That's precisely what I'm saying. He took the risk of stopping in the middle of what we were doing, a la Brian Flores, and changed to Mike McDaniel. Now, he ended up being okay. We're still in a window, right? Well, at least most people think. That's the narrative. So he's already proven that he's willing to take that chance. If he believes that somebody else besides Tua can continue this window, then he'll do whatever he wants to do.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about dollars.
Well, it's again, and if he's convinced that Tua is not the only way our window stays open, then what does he care? What does he care if the fans don't think that? Half the fans didn't think that our window would stay open if you fire our head coach in the middle of his job. But he did it.
He did do it.
He also said he was taking full responsibility of the outcome. Now, what if McDaniel wouldn't have panned out? What if we're tanked right now? because of that.
If McDaniel wouldn't have panned out after everything that happened, man,
It would have been on Ross because Ross said he's taking responsibility for that.
It would have been unreal at this point. Let's be real. It would have been unreal because
the point being is the fans would have just had to deal with it. The window would be closed and we would have just had to deal with it. Because that's what that billionaire wanted to do. Because that's what that billionaire wanted to do. It's his toy.
He can do whatever he wants. At this, he doesn't prioritize the Dolphins. Now, I'm not trying to make this a Ross bashing session. I think when it comes to this contract, at the end of the day, he's willing to wait. And that's what people don't get. He's willing to wait. He has no, Lewis said it best. There is no rush, because there isn't a demand anymore.
Right.
Not right now. Within the next 3 years, there's no real demand of like really a quarterback for most teams. So it is a disservice to Tua, to Jordan Love, and what was the third dude?
Prescott, Dak.
Prescott, yeah. And guess what? Jerry Jones was like, "No, I'm not doing another contract.
Right,
Play your $55 million."
And it works both ways, Miss Phins. Maybe Ross does like Tua as a person and is willing to give him a contract. I'm not saying that but if Tua's going to play hardball and Tua's agent's going to play hardball, then that's where that stops. You're talking about a billionaire versus a plebe. What does he care?
Again, he can literally just draft somebody or pay somebody else.
Do you think 5 years from now, if he were to like move out, not do anything and move off of Tua and all the fans get upset, do you think 5 years from now Ross will even remember doing that?
Probably not. Probably not.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't think he'll care.
That's what people underestimate.
If people were to pay attention, those 3 things I keep telling you, the 3 things, the 3 speed bumps. Number 1, the injury clause. Number 2, the number of years of that fully guaranteed part of the contract, because we don't care about the fluff. And then the overall number of the fully guaranteed. Guys, we've seen this already. It happened to Tyreek. Apparently, Kansas City was only willing to pay him at most $54 million fully guaranteed. He wanted more guaranteed money. Miami came with it, $72 million fully guaranteed. If people don't know this, let me explain to you now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Dolphins got Tyreek for $72 million. Yes, I get his annual average is $30 million. His fully guaranteed contract is $72 million. We got him for $72 million. You really think he's gonna be making $56 million next season? No, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, we can get rid of him, and people don't get that.
The other thing is, I'm in agreement with ABAB here. I like Ross too. I think he's willing to write the check. That's the point. Why hadn't it been written yet then? You know, like,
I mean, I've never seen a Phins coach write checks like that. I think you mean like
right.
Yeah, like Ross. He's not perfect, but I like Ross. ABAB. I mean, it's.
I agree.
I personally can't stand Ross for a lot of reasons, but that's one thing I will give him. When he wants to pay the money, he will pay that. He will write the. How much do we need? Here you go. Here's the signing bonus. Here's 60 million signing bonus. Here's 40 million signing bonus. 30 million. How much do we need right now? Cash. Oh, here you go. That I will give him. I will give him that. He definitely. I see you.
And I don't doubt that he wants to give Tua another contract. I just don't think that Tua's appeal. What's up, Q? I don't think Tua's appeal is enough for Ross right now. It might be enough for Greer to say, yeah, let's give him whatever he wants, Ross. But Ross might be like, no, I ain't. You know, I'm not ready to do that.
And Is there anything wrong with that? No, because again, we forget. Yeah, Peterman. Guys, we already have $23 million this year. That's what they don't
Oh,
get.
the other thing is,
He signed that check already.
the other thing is,
23 million.
the other thing I noticed, athlete's first client, Jalen Ramsey.
Dude, there's so
Now
much.
here's a guy that we bring in, give a hefty sum to, and then what happened to him? Comes out injured right off the bat, misses how many games?
8 games, I think it was. 8 games. He came in week 8, was it week? He came in week 7 or 8. So he at least 6 games he missed, at least.
Right. I mean,
but
they're good at their
and
job, that's for sure.
But then again, why would you guarantee more than 20 by 2026, Color? This year?
Because it's Jalen Ramsey.
No, not Ramsey. I'm talking about Tua.
Oh.
Tua's contract.
Right.
Why would you guarantee more when, let's be honest, look at the rest of the team. Everybody's out in 2026. And
what I think is happening, I think what's happening is the fan base, the pundits, all the people that are trying to figure out what we're doing are not realizing that Tua and Athletes First are running up against a brick wall. They're running up against an autonomic function from a corporation that is going to protect itself. The corporation doesn't have to live in Tua's reality that he's going to do this and that and the other. The corporation has lawyers that says, whoa, wait a minute here. There's a liability risk involved.
It's true.
I mean, in a lot of respects, Ross is not really in control of the money from that regard. He's still going to default to his lawyer's advisement. And his lawyers are going to say, hey, we're not even football fans. We don't even know the sport of football.
Yeah,
but we do know this.
Black and white ink.
But we do know this about this employee. You know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, you're nailing it.
It's kind of like if your manager at work loved you to death and believes in you and you believe in yourself and I'm going to do my job just great, but you've been in 3 accidents with your service vehicle. The lawyers don't care what your boss thinks about you or you think about yourself or whether you're actually going to get in an accident again or not.
You're uninsurable.
You know?
That's what that means. You're a
liability. I know I'm using an extreme example, but the corporation is like, well, I don't have to live in Color's manager and Color's reality. The reality is when whoever comes for me for the damages, I'm going to have to pay it. It doesn't matter whether, his fans believe in him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. But before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know this, but if you're new to Miss Phins, thank you so much for coming to Miss Phins. I appreciate it. Typically in the off season, I do my morning show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Today I had an appointment, so I had to do it at 10. But go ahead and check out Miss Phins Monday, Wednesday, Friday this off season. I will be at training camp. So you will see me. I'm going to give you guys some behind the scenes videos and whatever other information so you guys can go ahead and see the team firsthand because I do put my eyeballs on these players. Another thing too, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman right here is my co-host of League Wide Wednesdays. League Wide Wednesdays is an awesome show we do throughout the season. Thank you, Color.
Starting back up when?
Okay. For the season. We do it right before the season.
Right.
That week before the season. So every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and throughout the season, my morning show is at 8 a.m. Eastern. If you haven't done so already, subscribe on X. Guys, we have 1,700 people of you guys watching this show right now. 1,700 of you guys, which is awesome. So if you haven't already, go ahead and follow me on X, on Instagram, on Twitch, on Twitter. Wait, that's the same thing. You know what I mean? Twitter X, do all that. And if that same once you click the subscribe or the follow button, on my profile is the YouTube link. Click the YouTube link, please. Come over here to Miss Phins so you can continue to get awesome content and help us get to 2,000 subs before we get to the season starting. So, guys, I can't do this myself. It requires all of us. So, if you like the content, I appreciate it. And it's free. 100% free to hit that like button, to subscribe to Miss Phins, and let's continue to grow together. So I just want to go ahead and do that for us because I appreciate you guys, and let's continue to grow together. But color, not
So
to
what do you
sorry,
think
go
the
ahead.
chances are that we are more comfortable, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
with paying what Dak wants, and the Dallas Cowboys are more comfortable paying Tua what he wants because of how they believe in him and how we believe in about Dak. In other words, we're probably willing to give a bag to somebody. Would we rather give that to Dak? And on the other token, Dallas might be ready to give the bag to somebody. Maybe they're willing to give that to Tua.
Oh my, you know what? Let's play this real quick.
Just because both quarterbacks might be seen to need a change of scenery. And Dallas just ain't willing to do it for Dak. We're not willing to do it for Tua, but we're both willing to do it for each other's quarterback. You see what I'm saying?
Color.
What are the chances of
What
that?
if we do a trade?
Would it be, and that would be the question, would it be a 1-to-1 trade? Would we demand something else from Dallas, or vice versa? Would they demand something from us? Or would we just, hey, whatever Dak demands from you, you get stuck with, and whatever Tua demands, we get stuck with, and we go our separate ways?
Sign and trade? A sign and trade, maybe?
I mean, I could be too.
But this is
maybe Dallas believes in our negotiators more than theirs.
This is my only concern, though. Hold on. If we were to hypothetically go down this rabbit hole, which I didn't even consider, but if the Dolphins
Just
were
to add something, because the talk's getting redundant about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. If the Dolphins were to go ahead and say, "Hey, we want to go ahead and do a trade with Dallas," right? Both players have been in playoff games, but have taken their team to multiple playoffs. Let's be real. Anybody that wants to say that Tua didn't do it, the year before, stop it, guys. Without him, we would have never made it to the playoffs. Okay, so let's push past that. What if the main issue is Jerry Jones is looking to get somebody long term, but not Dak? And the Dolphins are looking to have somebody just for the next 2 years. And Dak is willing to play for the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say we give him a fully guaranteed contract. 2 years, $90 million fully guaranteed, or 2 years, we'll make it a 3-year contract, 90 fully guaranteed. But really we get out in the 3rd year. Something ridiculous like that. I don't know. I'm just whatever. I'm just spitballing. Or make it a 5-year deal, but it's really more of a 2-year deal.
Right. The other thing is
numbers. What's up, Sal? One of our resident Bills fans. How you doing?
The other thing is Jerry Jones, right? And the cash cow that is Tua. Does he want in on some of that action for a couple years? You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you something. A lot of people don't know this, but every jersey sale actually goes every team.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's all shared, but there's also extra that still comes if you're talking about a big image guy. You know what I mean? And Tua, let's be real, is a big image guy. He would bring because remember, it's not just the jersey sales. He would bring because Jerry Jones has a bunch of stuff he makes money off of that's not part of that the fans buy. You know what I mean?
And you know what?
He'd be pulling in all those Alabama fans. You know what I mean?
A change of scenery might be exactly what both players might need.
And let's be real, Dallas is a.
Mhm.
I mean, who do they face every once in a while? Green Bay or Minnesota, but their division opponents. Philadelphia can be cold, I guess. Washington,
Yeah.
not in the time of year
Depending
they
in the
play them.
Giants, so it's really
Giants,
not that.
I mean,
It's not Giants is Jets.
but for the most
That's
part,
really
they're
different.
playing the Buccaneers, the Cardinals. There's a lot of
the
fair
Rams,
weather environment
the
teams
Falcons,
and domes. Yeah, Falcons. Yep.
Panthers. The Saints. So realistically speaking, it might be even better. Oh snap!
We'd have to look.
Well,
You know what? We'd have to
I
do
don't
a
even think I
deeper
can
dive.
handle this scenario right
Well,
now.
Q is asking it. Q is asking the right question. We'd have to do a deeper dive on what Dak is asking, how that would relate to our situation, and whether it would be more beneficial to us contract wise than the Tua contract, or vice versa for them as well. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, Dak Prescott he is represented by if I remember, it was
You said
CPA
athletes
or
first.
something, or WWE something or other, maybe one of those.
You said it was athletes first.
Not Dak. Oh, Dak. Yeah, Dak is. I'm sorry. You're right.
They
Yeah.
have the same agent. You don't think that agents don't play off each other's players?
Well, yeah.
They
I
do.
mean,
They absolutely do. Hey, listen, this was proposed. What do you think?
I mean, obviously, Green Bay wouldn't do that. They're in love with love. You know.
And that's one thing. Okay, side note, I can't stand the Packers. Man, they luck out with Favre, get 16 years to the man, win a Super Bowl, and come in and luck out with Rodgers, win a Super Bowl for another 16 years, technically 17.
No, I'm still not sold on Jordan Love, to be honest with you. But
they get Jordan Love, who played behind him. Essentially, they just rinse and repeat.
I'm still not sold on him, though.
I get it. But at least so far, you cannot deny he's shown something. So, yeah, man.
The other thing is, I'm sure if you polled a lot of Dallas fans, like if you were to talk to the people that are off of Dak in the Dallas community, I bet you they're off of him for a lot of the same reasons that people are off of Tua over here.
Probably.
It might just be a match made in heaven. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised there ain't more speculation about that possibility. There may have been people that have already done the deep dive on the contracts and all that, and threw it out the window as an idea. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I'm just talking off the cuff, so I don't even know if it's a realistic thing, but it just occurs to me that we all feel the same way about each other's quarterback. Why don't we,
which our fan base swears.
Neither one of them have had a change of scenery.
That is true. And I got somebody in the back that honestly is probably your biggest fan. I hear him talk about you all the time, Color. Like, you are literally...
Nobody should be my fan.
One of his
I'm not anybody to be a fan of.
Like, content creators. He just absolutely adores, your content. And that's why I'm going to bring him up here.
CB83.
I'm going to bring him up here. Hey, what's up, Crypto? How you doing, my friend?
I'm on the road. I don't know if you can hear me, Miss Van. Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Crypto?
Can you hear me?
You're crackling, but you're good. We can hear you, but you're crackling, but it's okay. We can handle it. Go ahead.
Okay, I got you on the speaker, and the car, so it might be going in and out because I'm driving. I'm on vacation. I'm on my way to Chicago. I'm in Indiana now, so I got another about 2 hours or about an hour and a half or so left to go.
What, did the Cubs pay you to come watch them or something?
No, the Indiana Fever did.
Now the Cubs are gonna make their run when the season doesn't start until August. So
you're one of those after the All-Star break kind of guys. Oh, all right.
Yeah, after the All-Star break, that's when it starts. Actually, after the 4th of July, I think that's when they have it. The 4th of July.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I've been driving all night. I just passed the sign and said 116 miles to Chicago. So there you go. That's the mile marker for me.
Hey,
I was gonna do a space before I took off and just do it all night. Just have an open space. for my whole drive. Yeah.
Well, so Krypto, since you're here real quick, we're talking about obviously to do a contract, what's thinking. Color and I went down a rabbit hole of maybe trading for Dak both and just switching quarterbacks. How
doing a quarterback swap like Dallas, like with Dallas, kind of like what the Lions did with Jared Goff and Stafford.
Pretty much,
basically swapping quarterbacks.
Yep, pretty much.
It and could be a win-win to both teams.
Exactly. That's all I was gonna ask. What do you think?
Because both teams actually kind of benefited. Well, we know the Rams benefited because they won the Super Bowl. Technically, Detroit benefited even more because they went furthest in their franchise than any other quarterback ever took them with a conventional offense. So yeah, we might just need Dak.
Great point.
To get us over the hump, and they might just
be involved. Might need Dak. Krypto, us, the Cowboys, Dak, Tua, they all need it. Let's do it.
Yeah, sometimes change of scenery might work. They always brag about Drew Brees making good and all that other stuff after he left the Chargers, but they don't realize there was a change of scenery, and maybe that was the magic thing.
Dak's flat-footed butt would be like perfect for our system, man. Just stand there flat-footed and gun the ball out to Tyreek and Waddle all day.
OMG, guys! Listen, I think
change the scenery might just be the thing that's needed.
Opportunity.
Everybody shoots it down because certain players get called as being irreplaceable or unreplaceable.
Right.
It's kind of like an irrevocable trust. Once it's drawn up and signed, you can't revoke it. They treat Tua like an irrevocable trust. Come on. It's a living trust. It can be changed, amended, adjusted. Things can be put into it as you go in life or taken out of it. Don't treat Tua like an irrevocable trust. He's a revocable trust.
See, to me, the only thing that would like kind of shoot out this idea for me is that, in all honesty, Dak Prescott is the equivalent to Ryan Tannehill. And you could get Ryan Tannehill for a lot cheaper.
Well, I mean,
because Tannehill, given all his weapons that he got in Tennessee, which a lot of people would say is a lot inferior to ours, who is to say that he doesn't have the same success with our weaponry, given that it's an upgrade over what he had in Tennessee?
Right. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I mean,
if you wanted to make a big splash and make the fan base think that you're really real about it, then Dak would be the way to go over Ryan. You know what I mean? Ryan would be kind of like, well, we're still trying with Tua, but we got this backup plan. You know what I mean? Whereas Dak, a trade for Dak would be like, let's go with the main guy. Hey, you could even then still bring in Tannehill to back him up.
At this point, yeah, pretty much. What's up, Shake Money? Welcome, sir.
Hey, before I cook real quick, I just want to echo Krypto sentiment. We need to get Devontae Parker in the Hall of Fame. With that being said, you know what? You made me think of something, Krypto. When you said Dak Prescott and the trade for Matthew Stafford, and you brought up Drew Brees. Guess what? You go, all these people are like, Dak Prescott never won anything. Well, guess what? Matthew Stafford, before going to the Rams, never won a playoff game. Drew Brees, before going to the Saints, never won a playoff game. So at the end of the day, those gentlemen, like you said, change the scenery. Before they changed the scenery, they never won jack squat.
Did Stafford even get to the playoff game?
I don't even think he did.
No, he did.
No, he had zero playoff wins. Zero playoff
wins to that final season he was traded. That was the only time he actually won a playoff game is when he got traded his first season.
I think that was the
Yeah, good point, Shake. He didn't. They neither one of them won jack shit. You know.
Hey,
I'm sorry. My apology, Miss Phins.
Come on.
That's why I said squat.
Thank you. Yeah, I was. Come on, man.
I got a potty mouth this morning. I know.
It's okay, guys.
My bad for the
It sounds like he's 2-5 in the playoffs. Like that means he's that means he's been there 7 times.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott's
you
been there
want
7 times.
Dak
Yeah. Let's do the trade. Yes.
Okay. Well, if we're being honest, listen.
Oh
Campbell
damn!
Allen,
Yeah, he
okay,
is the
cool.
perennial playoff contender.
But this is the thing. If you're gonna say that, then okay, we're really not status quo in that aspect when it comes to Allen, whatever. But then he's at least won 2 playoff games. Like,
well, the good news is Dak, and I've said this about Tua too. Dak don't have to beat Allen. Our defense does.
Right.
I mean,
right. He doesn't have to beat Allen.
You think Kansas City care? You think Kansas City says, "Hey, Mahomes has to beat Allen"? No, it was their defense that beat Allen.
That had to beat Allen, right?
Color.
Hold him to 1 less point than you score. It can be if a score can be 1-0. That's all you need it to be. 1 less point. That's all you need.
I mean, isn't that what they say? I mean, this is why I don't like this whole QB record thing. Now, if you're talking about a QB that's 45-16, okay, yeah,
right.
It's a quarterback stat. But if you're talking about a quarterback that's muddled through 16 wins and 5 losses, no, that's not a quarterback stat yet. You know what I mean?
There's not enough research or enough or a large sample size to be able to put that into.
It only gets selectively
the category that matters.
When it's an advantage to the person you're advocating for. That's when quarterback stat gets used. When you're advocating for the quarterback,
one quarterback beats another. No, a quarterback can outperform his opponent.
Right.
That's all you look at. You know,
right.
And ultimately you can say the win is the ultimate outperformance. Fine. But
right.
Let's not act like Blake Bortles outperformed all the quarterbacks that he quote unquote beat.
Hey, Blake Bortles took that.
He just treaded water. He basically tread water and allowed them the team to take over.
Right. Now, as that team was constructed with Jalen Ramsey and Calais Campbell,
right.
Ironically.
I was just gonna say, I'm like,
You think if we gave the Jaguars that year Dak Prescott, do you think they would have got screwed over by the refs in the championship game and all that? Like it would have come down to all that?
No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have came down to that at all.
Because they definitely got screwed.
I don't even like that Dak, but here I am. You know, it's like, oh, I don't like Dak. I'm off of Dak. Like Dak would not be my guy to build a new team with.
That's funny.
But we're talking about bridge quarterbacks and quarterbacks that may trigger a winning.
Right. But if you're right,
playoffs based on change the scenery.
Right. If you're talking about making the situation better for both teams involved, and we've got weapons that would arguably allow most quarterbacks to get us to the dance, then what's wrong with Dak? But of course, I know we're going to choke in the playoffs with him. I get that. I'm just all here for it. Let's hope we might win one game. Yeah.
So, gentlemen, because it's funny. Shout out to some.
You know how people say, if you know Miss Phins, you know how people say if Tua was to hold out, I went through this exercise with Reggie, Dr. Brown, right? Reggie Brown, right? As far as the our backups, I first asked them if our backups was better than Matt Moore. Everybody agreed that no, Matt Moore is better than our backups. Then I asked them if all of our backups better than Zach Wilson. Then they said, yeah, slightly better than Zach Wilson, right? So if our backups is better than Zach Wilson, and our roster is built and more stacked than people perceive to be better than the Jets, then how come our backups lead us to at least 8 or 9 wins, which would be more than Zach Wilson?
That's a great question, Crypto. Why does everybody assume our season is over?
Right. I'm just wondering, when you go through the logic of it, why are we automatically just tossing our season aside? Right. We think our team is so stacked, and we got all this depth. Then how come if we think and we all agree that our backup room is better than Zach Wilson, we got a minimum, a baseline of 7 wins. That's just starting point.
Right. And even
our
if,
defense
and even if it's
converted to a win of his own.
Right, and even if it's because of a legit injury on Tua, that 7 or 8 wins is going to be good enough that when he comes back, our season ain't tanked.
It's not, because if you think about it, the 7-8 wins that we'll get in that aspect.
Let's hope it's the first 7 or 8 wins, so Tua can come back with a nice 8-2 record or something. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So the season really over? I'm just trying to talk people off the ledge, kind of just walk them through the exercise.
Well, but that's part of the Skyler's trash narrative, Crypto. So we gotta admit that Tua goes down, our season is over.
But
that's why I had to go. That's why I went the Zach Wilson route, to get them to admit that our quarterbacks is better than him. And if they agree to that, they have to agree that we're getting at least 7 wins.
Right, Crypto. That's why I don't buy the abstract leverage that they talk about when they say, "Oh, Tua has leverage because Miami doesn't want to go without a quarterback."
That's right. Exactly.
Not leverage. You know what I mean?
Okay. Exactly. 1 second, guys. Crypto, I'm gonna mute you because you keep talking. I'm trying to get in here real quick, man. Okay, I unmuted you. Liz, give me a second, man. But as far as when it comes to our backups, I thought you brought up a great point, because our backups, in my opinion, are better than Wilson. They haven't gotten to Matt Moore status yet. And if you're a fan of Miss Phins, I've told you already, I love Skylar Thompson. I see him as being our Matt Moore for the next 10 years. I want him to be that foundational backup quarterback that I know, to you guys' point that you're talking about, if my starter goes down, and say in this case Tua goes down, I don't have to worry about it. I know my quarterback can give me 4, 5, 6 weeks and go at least 4-2, or 5-1, or even 3-3, to allow my starter to come back so we can go ahead and finish the season. You know what I mean?
So they just throwing out blanket statements, trashing the backup quarterbacks. If you come into the conclusion that our backups is at least above par than Zach Wilson, then you're being a hypocrite by saying the season is completely over.
And it's not. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. But it does take.
Well, they're imagining a full season with one of those guys.
No.
But I'm saying, but if you think our defense could be better than or on par as Brian Flores, remember Brian Flores' defense alone won us 4 or 5 games in that season. So if we can convert our defense to give us wins, and the quarterback play can get us 7, so what's the difference in our record?
So if you're looking at 7 + 5, that's 12 wins right there, and you get another 2 wins out of your backup. That's what, 14
There
wins?
You go. See, people don't logically think this through.
Wins. You're winning the AFC with 14 wins.
Because they don't believe our defense alone could win games, but yet they give our defense a lot of credit as far as being the best in the league or one of the best in the league. They don't think our defense, at the same time, if they're saying our defense can't win games alone, which they actually did 2 years ago with the Jets game, if they want to say that. They always like to go back to that game because Skyler played in it. Who's to say the defense can't put on another 4 or 5 performances like that with Mike White or Skyler? They're supposed to be better than that, right?
And the way our schedule is this year, we could be 5-11 with Tua. So what's that everybody even like talking about?
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, man,
that's true. They never thought about that aspect of it. That's a good point too, Color.
This schedule, man, I'm not gonna lie, it's got me sweating, because taking a look at it is rough.
if every team performed to their expectation and had minimal injuries, we're lucky to be over 500 this year, based on track record of playing those types of teams in the last 2 or 3 seasons. So, you know, like if you're one of those people that thinks we can't beat the good teams, and all of the teams play to their expectations this year, we're not going 500, even with Tua. So
it's rough.
Right. It's still a bumpy ride.
When Tua is turning down whatever offer we gave him, that's the part where Greer's like, okay, because have you checked our schedule lately, and have you checked your track record lately?
It's rough.
Right.
If all these teams
play and that's what's weird. They don't
this year, we are going to be 5-11, 5-12 actually, because we have 17 games now.
They think only 5-12 is possible only with the quarterback room,
right?
Which means we should be pounding the table for Zach Wilson.
Here it is, because I was looking if I had it or not.
So to be our backup, because he's a serviceable backup.
Pull it up real quick, so you guys can see it. And welcome. I just real quick before we get into the schedule here, real quick. We're gonna take a quick session. We're gonna do, if you guys are okay with it, we can go through the schedule. I'm loving this conversation. That's why I want to keep going.
Well, before we do this, Miss Phins, can we agree that when we look at these teams, the point, in order to capture the point I'm trying to make,
go ahead.
When we look at these teams, we need to look at them as if it's right now, June 29th. Okay. And all of these teams are going to perform to their current expectations. You know, based on based on what we've seen them do the last couple seasons, the trajectories they've been on. If all of these teams were to perform to reasonable expectations that their fans have for them, that the league has for them, that even we as Dolphins fans have for them, if we're to be honest with ourselves. So let's go into it as if everybody's going to perform to expectations. Not that team's going to fall off the cliff this year, so we don't, no.
Yeah, because there's too many variables that you have to consider.
Right. Let's just look at this. Right. Let's just look at it as it, not as if in the respect that every team has a chance at this time of the offseason. No, that's not what I mean. Not from the perspective of every fan thinks their team is the one this year. No, I'm talking about what the league in general has expected for these teams this year and what the general population thinks when they first hear the words Buffalo Bills or San Francisco 49ers. I'm not talking about whether we think the Bills are falling off a cliff or none of that. Let's just go based on what all these teams are, how they're expected to perform.
No, I like that.
And let's do our schedule based on that.
And let's go. I don't mind spending a few minutes here and going over the schedule. But before
and based on recent track record of teams that we've played that are that good, you know what I mean?
I was gonna put up something else, but I'm gonna do this instead because I wanna show. Guys, go ahead and do me a favor if you haven't done so already, man. We have almost 1,700 people watching on X alone, on Twitter alone, guys. And look at this. We're at 1,399 followers. So let's get, if we can do, man, if I get all you guys to come in here, that'd be great. Let's go ahead and get, if we can get to 2,000 followers, that'd be great. If not 2,500, I'll take it. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Follow me, X. Follow me on Twitch because we want to definitely grow. And look, we're so close to getting to 2,000, and I really would appreciate it. Also, too, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much. This link right here, this is the YouTube link. Click on this link, and it will take you directly to the YouTube channel of Miss Phins. and it will be able to show you real quick exactly what's going on. So that way, once you click it, where'd it go? You'll be in, let me share this tab. Boom, you'll come here and you get to go ahead and see it. We got 1.3 to 1,300 subscribers. There you go. You can go ahead and hit the subscribe button, guys. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Look at this. I've done over 500 videos for you guys. It's a great opportunity to grow the channel. Trying to get to 2,000 before the season comes up. You can be part of our membership squad. You can see the community and all that good stuff and check out all the videos. But if you guys do me a favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. That would be amazing. So I appreciate all of you guys. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also go ahead and follow me on Twitter as well. You can catch Miss Phins Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So go ahead and check that out at 8 a.m. Eastern. So now that I got that here, let me remove this puppy. Where is it? There it is. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our schedule. And we don't got to take too long. I just want to go ahead and go through it here. So we talked about the schedule real quick. We're going to talk about the schedule. By the way, guys, training camp will be coming up in July, late July and August. So stay tuned because I will be giving you updates on that as well. But this is the Miami Dolphins schedule this season, ladies and gentlemen. Aqua is home. White is away. The first 2 weeks we are at home with the Jaguars, and then Thursday night football we have the Buffalo Bills. Let's talk about those first 2 games since they're at home, gentlemen.
Before we do,
wins.
Grab your super chat real quick, Superfish. Because,
we got a super chat. Oh,
yeah, because it's actually apropos. It's actually apropos to what I'm trying to say.
Thank you
and
so
what
much.
I've been saying for Superfish must pay attention to me, because
man, Superfish, you're man.
They're saying the same thing I've been trying to tell everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Color, because I was on another screen. Thank you so much, Superfish, and thank you for donating to the channel and showing your love, guys. And if you do have a super chat that you want to go ahead and do, we'll definitely go ahead and read it live here for everybody. So Superfish says, this schedule puts us in the position to knock out the negative narratives. Does anyone else believe we can go 12-5 this year? We have the depth. Superfish, first of all, again, thank you for that $5 donation. Appreciate you. Wow. Appreciate you.
In a deeper conversation,
I
found 13 or 14 wins for us. But at the same time, the reason I'm really glad they said that is because that's what I've been trying to say. This schedule, this is the point. Let's go based on what our current expectations of these teams are. Because if you do that and you don't think we're going 2-15, then we're going to have to be destroying that narrative about beating good teams. That's the exact point. Superfish nailed what I've been trying to say.
Which is hilarious. And I'm going to say this before I pull up the schedule. I actually, when I saw the schedule, I said, man, this is going to be a gauntlet. But then I said, this is a beautiful schedule. Why? Because that means we're going to have to show and truly get tested to prove everybody that we belong and we have the right team for us to get deep in the playoffs. So this is a prove it schedule, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I see. This is a prove it schedule. So if you come over here, we're going to go ahead and show you guys the schedule again. Here it is. Week 1 and 2, real quick. And again, shout out to all the members of the channel. Shout out to everybody showing your love. Appreciate you guys. Week 1 and 2, ladies and gentlemen. What do we got?
Because Jaguars is a good team. I don't care what anybody says.
It's a playoff team.
Team. They were contending with Houston last year for their division until Trevor got hurt. Okay. Both us and them have both gotten better since the last time we played them. Both have different coaching staffs since the last time we played them. But the last time we played them, they won. So, we don't really have to go through wins or losses here, because I think it'll illustrate the point anyway. You know what I mean? Like, There are no bad teams here except the Patriots, maybe the Raiders if they don't take the next step. I mean, what are we looking at here? The Browns that got deep in the playoffs with their comeback player of the year at quarterback.
I don't know. Color, maybe.
The Cardinals ended the season last year with Kyler starting to do his thing again.
That might actually be it. So
the Seahawks, I mean, Geno Smith, believe it or not, has been lingering around the top 5 in quarterback production for the last 2 seasons, quietly. Like when I look at all Tua's numbers all the time, I see Geno's name right along around there all the time.
Hey, I will tell you
we got the Titans. The Titans beat us last year in our own house.
Yes, they did.
So when people talk about, our backups can't get more than 5 wins, what are we talking about, last year's schedule or this year's? Because if you go on the idea that we can't beat the good teams, then we're going 2-15 here.
I mean, okay, so
maybe 4-13 or 5-12, yeah, but that's going to happen with Tua just the same, is what I'm trying to say, based on that schedule.
We were 1-15 before, so there you go.
It is possible either way, but if you take a look at it and you're just gonna focus on that part right there, I mean, quick glance. If you're gonna go the absolute hardest version of this or the worst case scenario, you're looking at a win against the Jags, loss to the Bills. I'd say win versus the Seahawks, loss to the Titans again. You're gonna split with the Patriots. So that would be week 5.
And that's when Greg gets fired.
Then you got the bye. The Colts, let's say you win, okay? Then you got Cardinals. Let's say you win that. We're looking at the worst case scenario. Then you got the Bills, another loss. You got the Rams, another loss. I still, even though Finsanity, if you're still listening and watching, let's say worst case scenario, we lose because of Christian Wilkins. That's 6 weeks, six losses already. Then we go ahead and then we win versus the Patriots because we're splitting. Lose to Jordan Love, the Packers. Split with the Jets. Win at home. But then we lose to the Houston. We lose to San Fran. We lose to the Browns. And then we lose to the Jets. That's 11 losses, people.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out that the
worst case scenario.
The 6 losses we had last year, except for one of them. Well, actually all of them, but one of them was a quote unquote bad team. Okay. But in all 6 of those losses, none of them were Skylar Thompson or Mike White playing. But they were all quote unquote good teams, right? Yeah. So what does it matter? If Tua can't beat the good teams, we're going 4-13 with him anyway.
Oh, so we're not using the backups of excuses, you mean?
It was Skylar and Mike White that lost 6 games last year that all happened to be contenders in critical moments. Well, we've got nothing but contenders and critical moments on our schedule this year. So why would it have to be Skylar or Mike White is the reason we go 5-12?
Well,
couldn't it just be our quarterback 1? That's the point.
That's a good exercise, fella. Yeah, because
it's our
schedule laid out the way
We're literally counting on Tua to get over the hump of beating the contenders.
Right. That means that we got 11 losses staring us in the face if he can't overcome that hump.
Right. Our entire season depends on Tua fixing that.
Literally. And that's not an easy task whatsoever.
And that's probably what's
and if you want to throw in injuries too and staying healthy, fine. I'll give them that. You know what I mean? Of course we got to stay healthy with a schedule like this. But it's not like we're going to be injured as bad as we were in those 6 games. It's not like we're going to be injured as bad as we were all 17 games this year.
You got to chalk up some games. You're going to have half your roster available. And it'll be just a second string on, you know. The job of the head coach is not to have a big drop-off between a 1 and 2.
And well, that's the other thing. They point out injuries for the failure in Kansas City and the failure against Buffalo. What about the 4 other failures?
Right.
We weren't injured against Tennessee. Who was injured against Tennessee? That we couldn't even pick up a first down.
If you want to get technical,
that we couldn't even pick up a first down. Who was injured so much that we couldn't even pick up a first down to win that game?
Yeah.
Jason Sanders, color. He had a bum toe.
I mean,
he had a bum foot.
We're gonna need some of these other teams to get injured. and drop off as contenders. Now, again, as Tito always points out, very rightly so, not all of these teams are going to be the actual contenders that people expect them to be. But some of those bad teams are going to be better than people are thinking they're going to be, a la the Raiders, the Seahawks.
There's always that one
the Rams, who are backed up healthy. You know, the Cardinals.
There's always that one team.
Whether you believe in Kyler long term or not, that's a dangerous thing out there. You know what I mean?
Well,
listen, right.
That's why I wanted to go through that little exercise. What's up, Ronnie? I see you, man. Welcome. Listen. At the end of the day, which is why I'm going to go back to the topic at hand. Tua. Are you worried about the season? You know what I mean? Are you worried about the season?
Well, now, if you're 100%, here's the thing. If you're 100% convinced that Tua is getting to that next level and going to prove us all something he hadn't proved yet and roll through all these teams, then by all means, give him his Deshaun Watson contract right now.
Hey,
but if you're not convinced of that, there's no reason to do anything right now.
We don't have to. That's what I was saying earlier. We don't. Right. We have the ball is in our court. No, it's in Tua's court because we already paid him $3 million. Yes.
What do you think about this, Miss Phins?
Go ahead.
What do you think about this? There's this narrative. It's like a slow drip narrative out there. If Tua doesn't get signed, then it's going to cause turmoil in the locker room, and a lot of players are not going to want to play. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stop doing my job at my work site because my supervisor didn't get the bag. I'm still clocking out under my social security number, my ID, in order to get paid for me. I don't care. Whether or not my supervisor.
Right.
Hold on, Colin. Let him finish.
Is getting paid.
I'm having a hard time to hear him. Go ahead and finish, Crypto. Say that again.
Yeah, I'm saying there's a narrative out there that there's going to be discourse in the locker room, and it's going to cause a dysfunction amongst the players and basically tank our season if Tua has to go on his 5th-year option. I said, no, wait a minute. I work for myself. I got to still clock in and get my own paycheck. I don't care if my supervisor gets a pay raise. That has nothing to do with me. Whether or not my supervisor gets paid or get a pay increase shouldn't affect whether or not I come to work and clock in and be able to pay my own mortgage.
Nor if they changed your supervisor out today. Crypto.
Right, exactly.
Nor if they changed him out today,
right,
you got a new one tomorrow. You still got to do your job.
Well, I mean, there's also other narratives.
Exactly.
And there's other narratives too. Let's put it out there. There's and again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just telling you rumors out there. This isn't a fact. This is just rumors out there from fans. Okay. There's other narratives I've heard that I'm like, okay, guys, stop. That maybe perhaps that locker room may not be as tight as it may seem, and that Tua might present himself maybe as being a little bit more fragile, mentally speaking, not concussions. People, relax. I mean, like, how do I say that? Having that mental fortitude to deal with situations. I don't know if I'm presenting that correctly. Maybe. And that might already be a rift in the locker room. Because to your point, Crypto, I still got to have a paycheck. I still got to put out film for other teams to see because my contract's not fully guaranteed and I don't got an extension on my contract. Every player is always playing for that next contract. So
right,
they still have to perform.
So what is this notion that Tyreek Hill all of a sudden is going to start intentionally dropping footballs? Are you ready to have that conversation because he disgruntled about his quarterback? Are you ready to put that out there now? Are you going down that road?
Not to mention that, and I'm glad you pushed back on the narrative because I was hearing it yesterday too, and I'm glad you pushed back on it. That somebody said something about it because, yeah, you're right. It's like, how do we know? Has anybody gone into the locker room, gotten the entire team drunk, and then did a poll on how many of them would be disgruntled if Tua is the guy?
I don't think anybody would be disgruntled.
No, I'm saying there was reports recent, in past seasons of a player saying he's wasting his career.
Right.
Now that's
so why are we poisoning the well, just assuming that every player would be like, oh no, I can't play for another quarterback if they bring one in, man. How do you know there ain't receivers that are? How do you know there ain't receivers that are like, oh, thank God, finally did something?
Again, I'm just telling you the rumors out there from fans.
How many of you all in your company that you work for believe in the same thing as your coworker about your manager?
A lot of people do.
You all sit around in the lunchroom and go, boy, that boss we have is just a swell guy, and all 10 people sitting with you agree?
Right, not all 10 agree, right.
There's not one person that goes home and complains to their spouse, man, I hate my boss, and all the 9 guys on my team love him. I don't know why they love him, but I hate him. You don't know of anybody like that? You've never felt that way yourself?
And that's just natural human nature. Not everybody is going to gel with everybody. But that doesn't mean you still can't be a professional and still perform your job. And these players have a job to do because they want
exactly. Likewise, what Crypto's saying. If they came in, changed out your manager tomorrow, are you going to be like, I really love that dude. I don't know anything about this guy. But I know he's good enough that they replaced my guy with him. You know what I mean? But I really love the last guy, so I'm not going to do my job for this new guy. Nope.
Yeah, that again, it depends.
That's a fact. Exactly. Yeah.
Another awesome donation, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, Superfish. Okay, Superfish with the $10 donation. Let's see. Superfish said, "This locker room is tight. Offense has been practicing since before OTAs, and defensive guys have been hanging out at Poyer's house. Well, those are just two examples. Not concerned whatsoever about Tua." And you know what? I can't dispel that 100% because
Yeah, but that's Poyer's house. We're not talking about Poyer in the defense.
that is true. That's the defense.
Can't see the screen.
And I've never had issues about defense. So he mentioned that the defensive guys have been hanging out at Poyer's house, working together, I'm assuming. And then for the offense, they've been practicing since before OTAs, which there have been reports, so I can't deny that either. But I still don't know if this locker room is 100% super tight. You know, that's no plays, no work plays. I don't care how good they are. It's going to be 100% tight. There's always going to be some dissent.
No, it's going to be something. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying there ain't. I'm not saying that Tua don't have a crew and that there ain't guys that are 100% behind him. I'm just saying that this assumption that all 53 guys believe in what we're doing at QB1. I mean, there's no way to know.
There's no true way.
They all of a sudden going to stop doing their jobs.
Shout to Shake Money.
That's just you. I hate everyone.
He says that's just
not just one person.
You hate everyone.
You know, he knows me all too well, man.
Oh man,
you know?
Well, thank you. Wow, thank you, Shake, for that $5 donation. Thank you guys for showing your love to the channel, man. I really appreciate it. Well,
I've been working on changing that equality and hatred over to equality and love throughout later in my life. I've been trying to make that transition. You know what I mean?
You gotta work on it one day at a time. You know what I mean? But to you guys' point, which is what we're talking about, this is why all this comes back to: are you worried? Meaning, are you the fans? Are you guys worried that this contract is taking so long? That Tua missed a day, or where we're at as a team. And for me personally, I'm not worried that actually, I like that the contract is taking so long, because it looks like Miami's set in their ways about what they're willing to pay. And it's going to have to be Tua's people to come to the table and say, okay, we'll accept. Because that is one thing I will give Greer. Just like I praised him for to me, till this day, the best contract I've seen is the Waddle contract. I absolutely love that Waddle contract. Mwah! Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love that contract. You also have to see that there are some contracts that were not good. So I want him to take his time. You know what I mean?
Man,
hey,
Jake just starting a color hate fest, man. Wow.
You guys are too much. Hey, Q with a $5 donation. Thank you, Q. I agree with Shake.
Everybody's like, I just got paid. It's time to hate on color.
It is Friday. That's right.
I have an idea. I think this was pitched. I think this idea was pitched out there. I got an idea. What could be going on? This may sound a little cynical, because it would take some, real insidious things going on at the management level. They may be coming with the biggest propaganda stunt by pretending that they're holding off Tua, just so they can say Tua is being strong, so they can give in to him later on down the road to have a bigger campaign.
You have to put that in the ether, bro.
To say that that's out, to say that it's there.
If you would have never said that, that wouldn't have happened, bro. you just spoke it into reality, man.
Oh man.
Now, color, that's me getting out ahead of it. At least I know that that's what they was doing that that's always a possibility.
Plus,
That all along that was their game.
Plus, they get to placate the haters for a couple months. You know what I mean? And make them think they're
But-
getting something. You know?
Right,
Hey,
exactly.
you can't really
That's a part of
deny
the long game propaganda.
And I appreciate you too, Superfish. Your comments have been great today.
You can't deny it too much. You know what I mean? It's still funny though, because if you take a look
Ronnie
at it,
just made some work for you, Miss Phins. You got
Ronnie.
you got some editing to do.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I am gonna have to do some editing. Thank you, Ronnie. Brr, 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 brr. Ronnie and man, shout out to Ronnie. He gifted 5 Miss Phins memberships.
Let's see who they're gonna be.
Congratulations! Let me see who got these
Yeah.
memberships.
Thanks,
Man. So
Okay.
Ronnie got Ryan AP. Congratulations, Timothy. Shout out to Timothy, Dolphin Don. Congratulations. Even Scotty. Scotty's in the building. What's up, Scotty? What's
Wow,
up?
Scotty
Welcome
been
back,
lurking.
Scotty. I guess
Scotty,
Scotty's
yeah.
back. I don't know. I guess. Well, you're gifted a membership.
Yeah, I told
Scotty,
you he'd be
so-
a member again, Miss Phins.
Hey, listen, I love Scotty. Scotty's one of the awesomest people, and he knows football, so I appreciate it. But shout out to everybody. He gifted himself a membership, and Ryan, Timothy, Dolphin, Don, and Scotty. So thank you. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And by the way, I know it sounds really weird,
Mhm.
but YouTube requires you to actually go into your own account and check a box to allow people to gift you memberships.
That is
So
true.
if you seem like you're never getting like you're never picked or whatever, go check that setting and make sure the box is checked to allow it.
Yeah, absolutely. Congrats,
I
guys.
noticed that
That's
the other
awesome.
day. I'm like,
What
how
do you
come
mean?
the system never picked me? And I was in my account manager. I'm like, oh, look at this. I just got to turn this radio button on.
Yeah.
Oh, under
No,
the what?
man. No,
YouTube
I appreciate
membership?
it.
Under
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
YouTube
have
your
to
thing?
regular
check
account,
out.
right? And your regular account manager for your
Mhm.
YouTube account or whatever,
Absolutely.
account
Well,
manager or
again,
wherever it's at.
thank you. And again, thank you guys for all the members. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting the channel. You guys, man, keep it going and keep it moving. We're going to continue to do bigger and better things. I got a lot of things are changing. So that's, things are up and down, but we're great and getting better and moving forward. And I'm super blessed to have, you guys to enjoy the ride with me because I love talking Dolphins and football and sports. And to my co-host, Mr. Color Commentary, sir, I appreciate you too.
Pleasure as always. I know I ain't been around in a while. I've been just
no,
sleeping
it's
at
okay.
that time of the day lately.
It's okay, but I am here. You can catch Miss Phins Monday, Wednesday, Fridays this off season. I am live at 8 a.m. Eastern time. 8 a.m. Eastern time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, guys. Just so you know, we have 1,760 people watching right now across Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. So shout out to almost 1,800 of you guys, man.
Now, if all 1,800 ran over here to YouTube and hit the subscribe button, that would be awesome.
Exactly. Guys, come over to YouTube. I showed you how to do it. It really does help out the channel, and it is 100% free. 100% free. So that way you're up to date whenever I'm live, because Twitter doesn't always show when I'm live. So it's best if you subscribe on YouTube, and it helps out the channel too.
And if you come
So I
over to
appreciate you
YouTube, you can
guys.
chat with great people like Q and Ronnie N and Superfish.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So thank you guys, man. But
And Shake Money might even insult you.
Hey, you might even be eligible for one of these free gifts whenever
Right,
you guys are awesome in your gifting membership. So definitely go ahead and join the family. And it's very easy. I'm gonna share it one more time just so you guys can see it, because I think this is good. And then I got one last thing that I need you guys to take a look at, because I was like, ooh, Oh, this is good. And I thought it was pretty awesome to be able to go ahead and check that out. So let me go ahead and show you guys here. So if you've ever been to YouTuber X, you guys can go ahead and come check it out and become a member. And it's easy. So I'm going to share it right now so you guys can see it if you haven't done so already, guys. And if you support, I don't like to super harp on the fact that I'm a lady. Of course I'm a lady, if you couldn't tell. But yes, I am part of the Dolphins community. I am one of the awesome ladies out here putting out content. And I appreciate all you guys that do share what we do here. So this link right here, ladies and gentlemen, let me make it bigger and see. 1,700 are you guys, and then you include the rest of you. We're at almost 1,800 right now watching live across all of them. If you guys can take a minute real quick and just go ahead and do this. Hit this followers, or I guess I don't know where it shows. Go follow me on Twitter and hit this YouTube link. It's very easy, very simple, and you'll be able to find Miss Phins, and that way it'll show you where you can subscribe, and then you help out the channel, and it'll be great. And then we can continue to grow together, because that's what I want. I want to be able to continue to grow with you guys. So thank you very much. America, we love you. Oh, I'm not finishing, but I just wanted to, pre-show you guys that. Oh man, so let me show you this one thing real quick, guys. Because this is I always like to have fun. Robert Griffin III, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Griffin III to me is one of the greatest quarterbacks that we didn't get a chance to really truly see because of his head coach. I'm not gonna get into it because then I get a little too passionate about this and upset. But unfortunately, his career was cut short. So with
I'm starting to figure out why, Miss Finn.
With his career being short, which is very frustrating, you can see that
I don't understand
he
the
has a
unholy
lot.
alliance.
Wait,
You
what?
remember? No, I said I don't understand the unholy alliance between the Tuaneers and Robert Griffith. Because those the same people that freaking throws his career under the bus and call him a trash quarterback. And those are the same group of people. There's no way I will align myself with anybody that's a fan of a certain individual. I just have to take me personally. I know I wouldn't do that if I was him. That I don't know what the profit is to make me think somebody's up top is lying in his pocket somewhere, but that's just me.
I think it's because he can relate, Crypto.
It's an unholy alliance. It's an unholy alliance, is what I call it.
Well, it is an alliance nonetheless. And shout out again to Shake Money. What's up, Shake? Again, just you, Color. Love you, man.
I'm telling you, if you ever got to roll out anywhere like zombie apocalypse, tornado chasing, whatever, Shake's your man. You got to have Shake rolling with you in your crew.
And if you haven't caught Shake Money over there in the blender with Fanatic Fury and Larry K on YouTube, please go ahead and follow. Larry K is awesome, phenomenal content creator, and he allows his platform to be shared with Shake Money, and he always has great stuff. Go check out Shake Money and subscribe to Larry K because it's awesome. Okay, and you can find him too as a member of the Phins Tailgate, just like Mr. Crypto over here and Mr. Color.
You can find him tonight on the Phins Tailgate with the open panel drive time Friday drive time. It is always fun. It is always a melee, and make sure you put the kids to bed because it is adult.
It is a tailgate that never sleeps. That's for sure. Hooked Up Joe said marathon stream Friday. Yeah, I got like some time today, so I was like, let's do it. So, and shout out to you, a happy early birthday, Liz. Wow, your 50th. That's awesome. Listen, You enjoy yourself, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
You enjoy yourself. That's why not celebrate it? You know what I mean? Let's see here. Okay. So Robert Griffin III, look at what he said about our quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. And it's probably gonna be the last thing because I think that this
First thing Robert Griffin said was shout out to Chef Jude.
Hey, Chef Jude's in the building. What's up, Chef Jude? Awesome show. Check it out in the blender. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Absolutely. So, Mr. What's his name? Robert Griffin III. No, man. I'm trying to show some. There you go. There it is. So Mr. Robert Griffin III said the Miami Dolphins should pay Tua the market price contract he has earned. Tua was at least a top 5 quarterback in the last 2 years. Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert weren't and got paid market price, as they should have, as the next guy up with a bright future ahead of them. Don't trust anyone saying Miami shouldn't pay the market price for a top 5 QB. They either don't like Tua or don't understand the simple math of players' salary rising as the cap rises. Benefits all players at all positions. Pay the man. Gentlemen, what do you have on
possible? Wait, he don't think it's possible. He spoke about the fans. They either don't know, they either don't like Tua, or they don't know the ins and outs of contracts. Okay, that's fine for the fans. We know that about the fans. What about the Miami Dolphins, Robert Griffin III? What are their 2 options? Is it the same 2 options? Because I'm pretty sure they know the ins and outs of contracts. So which is it for them, Robert Griffin III?
Oh, that's a good one.
You're right. He left out that equation. What about the top brass?
I do know one thing. I do know that it don't take 6 months to write a piece of paper.
Ooh.
Yeah. Especially when we were told that in order to get this offseason started, it must begin with that contract.
Color, stop. I don't think the people can handle.
Yeah.
I mean, we've literally been saying the exact, if you're a guy like me and a person like Miss Phins, a lady like Miss Phins, a gentleman like Crypto, you've been saying the same exact thing. Even if it's all different things, none of us have said anything different than we said since the beginning, since the last game of the season, when the season, since the end of the season. Like, we've gone through months of it's going to be now, it's going to be now, it's going to be now, it's going to be now. Wait a minute. Why hasn't it got done yet? Why hasn't it got done yet? Why hasn't it got done? Oh, because there's this and that involved, because there's this and that. And of course, everything plays out the way it always does in these situations. And I've never seen one situation like this yet where the team all of a sudden said, you know what, y'all are right. We'll just do what y'all want us to do after 3 or 4 months of holding on and not doing it. Like Baltimore said, no, Lamar, we're not going to make you play on the 5th year. We're going to go ahead and finally cave to your demands right before training. You know what I mean? Like, when has that ever happened?
Right.
Hey, you bring some valid points.
It didn't happen. How come he's not used as a market example? They don't want to face those tough questions. He just recently got paid less than 12 months ago. Wasn't it when we talking about this with him 12 months ago, and we was criticizing him for having his parent as the negotiator and all that stuff? We get selective amnesia. We forgot about that. How come Lamar Jackson can't be a part of this so-called market? I mean, the Ravens may have set an example. Why are we not using the Ravens model? People just gloss over that because they don't want to argue. They want to argue Jared Goff and what has he done and all this other stuff when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. Okay, fine. Trevor Lawrence came 1 year after Tua was drafted. Okay. How many years did freaking Jared Goff was drafted before Tua? So why can't Lamar Jackson be a part of that equation too? As a part of saying, why is he getting paid more than Lamar did? Because they want to compare it to Jared Goff's contract. So it's hypocritical to leave Lamar Jackson out. Because last time I checked, wasn't Jared Goff drafted before Lamar Jackson?
Like you mean a higher seed? I might have. He might have.
No, as far as his year that he got drafted in.
Oh, like the actual year?
Yeah.
I think he has like 1 or 2 years.
But they want to compare it to Jared Goff and say we should get him more than Jared Goff. Then why should you be getting more than Lamar when Lamar? Yeah, granted, he only won 2 playoff games, but he also won multiple division titles and 2 MVPs.
I'm about to destroy another flaw I see, a fallacy I see in his tweet here. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and when I'm done, when I'm finished destroying it, you all are going to be like, it is blatantly obvious that RG3 is shilling for Tua right now, and I'm going to tell you why.
What do you mean shilling?
Oh, he's absolutely shilling for him right now. And I can see the evidence.
Color, yeah.
I can. There's one statement in this tweet that is the proof of that, and I'm going to tell you why.
Carrie P, before you go, like what Carrie P just said, that giveaway that RG3's position is about gaining fans and not sound football analysis. Is that one?
Well, that Kahari's agreeing with me, but I'm telling you in Robert Griffin's statement, I'm going to show you where the proof is, because it just dawned on me what he's doing here. When did Justin Herbert get his contract? The one that we're like, well, he's the same as Tua, so Tua should get that contract. When did Justin Herbert get that contract?
Not last year, not last offseason, the offseason before.
Okay. Right.
Offseason.
Right. More than a season and a half ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So Robert Griffin says Tua was at least a top 5 QB the last 2 years. Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert weren't and got paid market price. Now, Trevor Lawrence, I'll give him. But people are saying Trevor Lawrence is not market price. If that was market price, the deal would already be done. Secondly, take Trevor Lawrence out of it. Justin Herbert, when did he get his contract? What did we just say?
Not this past offseason. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Last year, Trevor Lawrence was not top 5. He also didn't play all 17 games. Neither was Tua, if you look at overall production. But if you look at just yardage, that's what he's talking about. I just looked. 2020. Let me get back to it. Hold on.
Go ahead.
2023.
My mouth says less.
Was last year. Tua number 1, right? 46-24. Top 5, they say. Okay. 2022. Justin Herbert, second behind Patrick Mahomes. That's top 5, right?
Yes.
2021. Justin Herbert, number 2 with 5,000 yards. That's top 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020, his rookie year. He was 6th with 4,300 yards. No, that's not top 5, right?
No.
But that was his rookie year.
Right.
So he went almost 3 seasons in a row with top 5 stats before he got paid. or at least 2.
If you want to get technical, 2.
So because last year he wasn't top 5, RG3 thinks he has the license to compare Tua's last 2 years in a row of being top 5, which he wasn't last year. I don't know where he got that from. He's averaging like the rest of them do when they throw that meme out with Tua's last 2 season stats. Okay, but then he's not averaging for the other guys. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
when Justin Herbert got paid, he had already put together a top 6 in yardage and second with 5,000 yards. Then he got paid and then went second again in yardage. And then last year fell off a cliff because he didn't play all 17 games.
Right.
So RG3 wants us to pay based on that. On what? Justin Herbert's 2 years before he got paid?
Maybe.
You see what I'm saying? He's then throwing now what Tua's done the last 2 years with what Herbert did the last 2 years, when one of Herbert's is last year, and that's the only year that he wasn't top 5 or near it.
So you think he's using it for his
He's conflating his last year.
It's obviously twisting the situation. Why would somebody twist and spin like that? Because they're shilling. There's no other reason somebody would spin for somebody like that. And I just proved it's spin.
Well, I'll tell you this.
It's a lot of that going on in this fan base,
the part
when it comes to numbers. Yeah, they're doing that.
What gets me personally is this part right here. Don't trust. This is a part that I'm like, what's going on? Don't trust anyone saying Miami shouldn't pay the market price for a top 5 QB. They either don't like Tua or don't understand the simple math.
Yeah, that's a truism. If you're talking about the people and not the Dolphins themselves, of course we know that's what it is.
I don't know, because
what is it for the Dolphins?
I don't know, because
I'm pretty sure it's not the it's not the we don't know contracts part. For the Dolphins.
That part, yeah.
And again, so back to what I was just to conclude what I was just saying a minute ago. He says Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert weren't top 5 the last 2 years and got paid at market price. But Herbert wasn't paid last year or this year based on the last 2 years.
He got paid before.
He was paid based on his first 2 years.
Right.
And then proved that value in his 3rd year.
Yeah. Hey,
where's RG3 saying that?
And that's, to me, that's
proof
one of the
that
things
he's
that
shilling.
makes it interesting.
He's shilling,
That's what makes it interesting. For me personally, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I'm like, but RG3, sir, you were a quarterback. You know, you went through this stuff. You went through injuries, so you kind of can semi-relate to Tua in that aspect, you know what I mean? And being able to get an opportunity to get that second contract and things like that. So I know he understands it as a player, being in similar situation in that aspect. But to say that, you know,
but he's doing it in bad faith,
which is what Color's point is. Like, you're changing, you're utilizing that particular part of your stats to bring your own narrative in that light, when in reality is you got to take a look at the entire body of work and to see when he got it, because to our point, he got it when he was playing that top 5 when we're talking about Herbert. And then when you're talking
it's
about
a false equivalency is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Now, if he doesn't know he's doing that, then okay, he's not shilling. But I find it hard to believe that RG3, a college graduate, doesn't know that's what he's doing.
I'm sure he does, but at the end of the day, it seems like he really is trying to be there for Tua, you know what I mean? And really support Tua in this aspect to pay the man. But ladies and gentlemen, I just ran through and I wanted to show it, but I'm like, I'm not. There are some that I'm like, OMG, the Dolphins are not set on paying Tua, blah, 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 blah. And this isn't coming from like content creators like myself. This is coming from actual like media pundits who are in the locker room, who get firsthand knowledge, who get to talk to these agents and get to talk to players and get to talk to organizations. And they're the ones saying the Miami Dolphins don't look like they're budging, period. They have put in their price and that's it. If that's the case, thank you, Miami. Thank you, Miami, for doing your due diligence. Because this is the other thing. And I said this a couple of weeks ago when I talked about this contract. I said, is he taking a long time for himself to sign? Because he might do like a Brady. So that way we can put stuff around him and keep stuff around him. And by Brady, I mean take a little less just so we can put stuff around him. Or is he going full bore and getting nothing but his paycheck?
Well, RG3 seems to think that Tua has turned down, or that the Dolphins haven't even offered Trevor Lawrence money. I find that hard to believe.
Let me go through this exercise.
Find that hard to believe, though.
Let me also go through this exercise because I feel there's been some soft gaslighting.
Wait.
Real quick. There's a super chat to read real quick.
Yeah, we got a super chat real quick. So before you go, don't forget it. But shout out to Superfish with the $5 donation. In 2022, Tua led the league in passer rating and passing percentage. And in 2023, he led the league in passing yards. Tua was in the MVP conversation last year as well. And Superfish, you're stating nothing but facts. That is nothing but facts. Tua did lead in 2022 in the passer rating and passing percentage, and last year in passing yards. And he back-to-back years, let me add to what you said, back-to-back years, people don't forget, he was in the MVP early on 2 years ago and last year in the MVP talks. So it's not like, it's far-fetched to.
Now I want to make a slight correction on that. He did not lead in passing percentage and percentage-wise. Geno Smith did at 70.0 point something. Geno Smith was
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Leader. Yes, 2 years ago. That's when Geno Smith had the 4,000 plus yard season.
2022, Miss Phins, he was 9th, tied with Kirk Cousins in overall production. So while yes, he did lead in those two stats, he was 12th through 15th in about 5 others.
And that's where you have to take everything into consideration. And thank you again, Superfish, for your $5 donation. But go ahead, Crypto, because I know I don't want you to forget your point. Go ahead about something about gaslighting and such.
No, the soft gaslighting when it comes to quarterbacks. I always rate a quarterback that's still playing over the course of their career because they're still playing, right? People think, well, because I'm saying one quarterback is better, that means they retired and left the game. If they're still active on anybody's roster, I don't care if this quarterback has 4 years and you're going to compare it to somebody that got 16 years. Hey, I'm comparing the careers. I'm not using 4-minute sound bites or two quarter sample sizes and say, oh, this quarterback is better. Because I guarantee you, I can go back in the past and find a lot of bum quarterbacks that over a short period had better numbers than Dan Marino. Are we going to say that that's a better quarterback than Dan Marino? No, we're not. So listen, I'll do this exercise to belabor the point. If I was to give you Zach Wilson and give him just 2 years of Patrick Mahomes numbers and then the rest of his career just be Zach Wilson, right? As we know him. Are we going to say that Zach Wilson, because he had 2 years playing like Patrick Mahomes, that he's a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers for his whole 16-year career?
No, I can't.
Not logically. No, it doesn't make any sound sense.
It's no different.
And that's what people are doing now.
But crypto, it's no different than the exercise of showing in 2022 that, yes, this guy was, top 5 in production, yet his best receiver was only 25th.
Right.
And this other guy over here is 9th in overall production, and he's got 2 receivers in the top 10. If that was the quarterback making those receivers in the top 10, the quarterback would be in the top 5.
Right. Yeah, the quarterback would actually be in the top 5. It was the quarterback that was making it. Right. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Yeah, because the reason why I use Zach Wilson and gave him Patrick Mahomes numbers in back-to-back years, people will still say, because in their mind, they automatically think Zach Wilson's trash and say, no, I'll still take Aaron Rodgers. So what's the difference from any other quarterback that has stellar numbers that may be even better than Patrick Mahomes for a short time frame, and automatically say that quarterback is just as good as the other quarterback that had a longer longevity playing like giving you Hall of Fame like numbers, and may have had a regression to the mean for just doing 1.5 years. I never understood why people do that. It's a microwave society, and that's got to stop.
Hey, that's
people
just
want
how
to
we
take
are
these
right
little
now.
small snapshots of people's careers and automatically make the assignment that they're just a better overall quarterback in their career.
Crypto, it's no different that if Tua were to all of a sudden find something deep in him that we haven't seen yet, and for the next 5 years won 3 out of 5 Super Bowls. I'm not going to mention one thing about his first 3 seasons.
We win the Super Bowl?
Right.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
nothing exists.
Yeah.
do I predict? Do I expect?
Which Flacco could have did?
No. But if it did, I ain't going to sit here and dwell on his first couple seasons.
Right. But if he just goes on and give you the David Carr career, and then we're going to say, oh, that guy's better than a Hall of Fame quarterback, then you're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind.
Or if, let's say, we got over the hump this year, win a Super Bowl, and then the rest of his career, he's 5-12.
That would hurt. That would hurt.
Yeah, that's
always a possibility too.
It is super possibility. I'm not denying that.
Given that you have to play.
The Rams went to the Super Bowl with Goff. If they would have kept Goff, we always ask, well, why did they do what they did after getting to the Super Bowl? Because they didn't believe whatever. But if they would have kept Goff and they were and would have been right about him not getting over the hump, then Goff might have went 8-9 for the rest of his career in LA after getting to the Super Bowl. That's what they were concerned about.
Is that what Dallas is concerned about, Dak?
Probably.
Oh, snap.
Well, no, they worried about Tony Romo 2.0, just like we worried about Tannehill 2.0.
But hold up. I got an even better one. Superfish has a great one. Best example for that is Drew Brees. I have an even better example, guys.
That took a change of scenery to happen, though.
Yeah.
Exactly. That took a change of scenery. Exactly.
I got the best example. Aaron Rodgers. He won a Super Bowl. Yay! Perennial in the playoffs. Just like Dak Prescott. You take away the Super Bowl, they're pretty much the same. Going in as far as
if Dak was to win one Super Bowl, he would have an Aaron Rodgers like career.
Exactly, an Aaron Rodgers like career. Exactly.
No different from Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton would have won a Super Bowl.
Exactly like Drew Brees. Okay, great that you're able to go ahead and be perennial.
Yeah, but see,
good, but not good enough.
Aaron Rodgers was drafted. He won a Super Bowl with the team he was drafted by. Drew Brees didn't.
That's true.
Eli Manning won a Super Bowl with the team he was drafted by.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
He won 2 of them.
I'm more apt to believe when it comes to Trevor getting the deal he got that, number one, it was the time. Obviously, that's part of what people say, you know. And you have a guy that, you know, I personally would trust, Doug Peterson, in his assessment. You also have the drop off in performance of their team when he got injured, yet he still played and tried. So I think that also, number one, the appeal that does, that you know, earns you by doing that is what makes them say, you know what, he stayed in and played, but we know he was injured and we had a drop off. That is kind of a clear example of a quarterback making a difference to your team, just kind of in the inverse. And the fact that he stood in and played earned him some of that grace. Like, if he would have just sat out and then they could say, well, we don't know if you would have made a difference. But with him in, they still had a shot to win. They just couldn't get over the hump because he was injured. You see what I'm saying?
Briefly,
it's a
he was
completely
drafted.
different perspective and point of view. I know it seems stupid and it shouldn't matter, but it a lot of times it's just perception like that.
But on a trade day, I'm not talking about that. Technically, yeah, you could say he was drafted by the Chargers, but it was a trade day. He never played it down in the freaking San Diego.
Who, Breeze?
Breeze, yeah.
Yes, he actually put up some good numbers for them.
No, I'm talking about Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
Yeah.
He never played it down. He was drafted. He was sent packing the same day.
See, with Breeze, it wasn't a matter of.
He didn't even get to his limousine before he left that draft, and they had already traded.
Right, and for Breeze, it wasn't a matter of. For Breeze, it wasn't a matter of putting up big numbers and can he get over the hump. He got injured, and the Chargers weren't willing to take another chance on him going forward. But the numbers he was putting up in San Diego is what got him the deal. Like, the fact that the Saints wanted him and we wanted him. The only issue was money and whether we would do it or not because of the injury. His numbers weren't a question.
You know what happened?
It wasn't a question of him choking in the big games or not having put up numbers or anything like that. It was, I put up numbers and I got injured, and the type of injury I got, a lot of doctors at the time said made me damaged goods. So that's why San Diego moved off of him.
See, Drew Brees, unfortunately, he didn't have his biggest asset, Chris Greer.
Right.
Because you know Chris
Greer.
I was
going to say, it would have been like if Miss Phins, it would have been like if it would have been like if we moved off TUA when he's after Green Bay. You know what I mean? Like, okay, another concussion, 5 games out. Nope. Let somebody else haggle for you. That's basically what the Chargers did with Drew Brees. Your shoulder is destroyed. Let 2 other teams haggle for you.
It's crazy because we were supposed to have been one of them.
It's still funny though. That's all I can say. It's still kind of funny to me. But ladies and gentlemen, it's already, my lord, it's already almost 1:30. I appreciate all you guys for coming through this very exclusive late morning / early afternoon Miss Phins episode with all of you guys that came up here. And before I let you go, give me final thoughts, gentlemen. What do you think? Answer my question. Are you worried about the season based on everything we've seen so far? Or you're not worried, or about Tua's contract? Either one. Go ahead, Crypto.
Listen, out on the road today, I saw a deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. Listen, I I just had to get that in. With Miss Phins.
Now we know what crypto's got on the radio.
I'm gonna say this, that I'm kind of neutral. I'm kind of like in limbo right now,
Okay.
But I'm kind of like in limbo. I feel like we've been stretched along. The goalposts get moved. We say, hey, we need to get this done, or else we can't restructure nobody's contract. Now that everybody's contract's pretty much out of the way, oh, it's just wait, give it time, it'll get done. I mean, which one is it? Where it was a pressing issue the minute the Super Bowl ended and the offseason started, that we, in order to get under the cap, this must be done. They forget that they put that talking point out there. They put the talking points out there so fast and furious that they forget what they originally put out just 3 seconds ago. It's amazing. I mean,
man,
they can't even keep up.
You're not wrong with that one. That was funny. I like that. Well, Crypto, thank you for coming through. Guys, you can catch Crypto on the Phins tailgate. Go check him out. Phenomenal content creator. So go check him out on the Phins tailgate. Thank you so much for coming through, Crypto. I appreciate you.
All right, Miss Phins, thanks for having me. All right,
of course.
Later, Crypto.
And Mr. Color Com, my co-host, my dude. How are you?
I'm pretty
Talk
good.
To me. Give me your
So no is the answer to your question. I'm not concerned about the season at all. It is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And I think, given the options out there, including just even signing to a new contract, whatever, every option we have seems to be the same result, with other options possibly having potential that we don't know about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, if I'm more apt to believe on the contract end that the Dolphins are just stringing things along because that's what you do and it's going to get done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm more to believe that it's going to be favorable for Miami, if anything at all, because again, we have no incentive for it not to be. But if I'll use this analogy.
Go ahead.
Of what I really think is going on. Just because it's your show, just because it's Miss Phins, and your audience would probably tend to more understand it. Keep in mind I was married at one time, so I don't generally watch chick flicks, but there are some good ones in the past, right? It's like that. It's like when Johnny in Dirty Dancing, right? It's like when Johnny realized, right? It's like when Johnny realized that Baby hadn't told her father about them yet, and he was like, and they started arguing. They were on a walk, and she like wanted to hide him from her father because they saw her father, and he confronted her right there, and he told her, "I don't think you ever had any intention of telling him about me." That's what I feel like right now. Like if I was too, I'd be like, I don't think you ever had any intention of giving me more than Baker Mayfield money. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and that's what the fans are realizing now. They're like Johnny right now. And you know what I mean? Like, and the contract is Baby.
That's wow.
The contract is Baby telling her father. You know what I mean? I don't think you ever had any intention of.
Hey, that's interesting. That's interesting because you know what, and I love that movie. My gosh, Dirty Dancing.
But with the time continuing to go by, like Crypto said, first it was supposed to be this, then this, then that. Now it's we're either just getting strung along to create the drama because the career thinks the drama is fun, or it's like that scene in Dirty Dancing.
Hey, any press is good press,
you know, signing me to a new deal.
Well, I'll tell you this, Color. I've heard so many different things, man, that it's kind of crazy. But as far as this, I could totally see why they're taking the time. And I'm gonna go back to my three things that I've said. It's gonna be the incentive for injuries, the injury clause. It's gonna be how many years they fully guarantee. Not how many total uses of contract, because that doesn't matter. How many years they fully guarantee, and then third, how much that fully guaranteed money's gonna be. And I'm telling you, I think they want to be on the shorter end of the stick, and they wanna keep this a small window and really do. Let's do 2 years so that way we can we can still pay you, but still have things around you. Because if we pay you, we won't have things around you, and we've seen what Tua like without things around him looks like.
Well, he could have
So
messed up. He could have said too much because it's kind of like you walk into a auto dealership, and if you told the salesman that you were antsy to buy a car, do you think you're walking out of there without him selling you a car?
oh no, he's gonna do everything he can,
Like,
and you're
you've
gonna
already
wind up.
given away the bag. You've already
Yeah,
said, I am antsy
I'm
to buy
here
this
to
car.
buy a car.
And
He's
maybe
already
it
got
was
it.
a mistake. I don't know. Maybe he was directed to say that, but to tell the Dolphins that you're antsy to get a contract done means that you're antsy to
Hmm.
get a contract done.
That means they have all the leverage. The market's the market, though.
You're antsy to push something through because you don't think that it has merit.
So you're telling me that it seems like Tua is more doing this as a business decision, like
Well,
he wants to
let's
more,
let's
based on your analysis, that it's more of a I'm trying to get paid
well,
and
let's
set my
list some
family
things
up
in
more
life.
than I love football.
Let's list some things in life besides NFL contract negotiations that might make a person antsy. Like, think about the
You're
word
about to
and
go to jail.
start to think about things that would make you antsy. If I was loaded with a bunch of contraband trying to walk through customs, I might be a little antsy.
That is true.
If
That is true.
if I was carrying well, I won't go there. It's YouTube and all that. Let's say if I was armed, let's say, and I was trying to illegally go into an establishment where I wasn't allowed to be armed, I might be antsy. If I'm trying to
That
pass
is true.
something off on you as something that it's not, I might be antsy.
I mean, you're not far off. If you've got something on you and you get stopped by police, you might
Here's
be
the other
antsy.
one. Here's a less negative one that may actually more apply. There's a Christmas gift that I'm due, and I know it's coming. I don't know what it is. I know it's going to be sizable, but I don't know if it's going to be as big as I want.
I think that's a perfect one. I think
I'm
that is
antsy
the
to
perfect
open
one.
it. I'm antsy to open it.
Ooh, I think that's it. I think Tua is antsy to open his new shiny contract
It's a gift, though. That's the thing. That was
or
part of the
gift.
analogy
Yeah,
that I was trying to convey.
new shiny gift,
In
so
other
he can make
words,
it happen.
in other words, you still have to be happy after you open it if it's not as big as you want. That's what I meant by it's a gift.
Essentially, if you wanted one of those, like,
Like,
what is
open
it
the
called?
thing, Tua. We're
No,
trying to
I
give
got
it
it. I
to
got it.
you.
I got it. You wanted one of those, it's not a Hot Wheel. It's one of those, the little cars that are battery powered, but the kids can ride in it.
Right,
What is the four little miniature 4x4s, right?
right.
If you wanted one of those, but you ended up getting like a
A big
one
wheel.
to 24 ratio car, you wanted to
Oh, right,
drive the little thingy, and you
right.
got the cars. Thank you. It's the same car, just one you can drive and the other one you're a kid and you're like, but this.
Well, with TUA, it's a little more like you want the remote control car that comes in a kit that you got to put together from the hobby shop, the real deal.
That's good stuff.
But you might get the one that's encapsulated and made by the manufacturer from Radio Shack.
That you can't play with.
Right. And you have to be just as happy when you open either one because you don't want to make your parents feel bad or Santa Claus, you know, if you're young enough for that still.
I am always young for that. McCullough, man, thank you for your extremely excessively long last you know, I love you, man.
The bottom line is TUA should be happy with whatever's in the box.
Okay, yeah. Hey, listen, he already has generational health, guys. People don't understand. TUA has made over $50 million with the Miami Dolphins so far. Congratulations, young man. You have generational wealth for your family. Now you're just trying to add to it. There's nothing wrong with that. But are you going to be is this going to change your, do you love the game or you just want the money? And I think that's kind of like, I know some people have asked that question. Does he seem like he just wants the money or does he truly love the game? Like some players. I can't answer that question because, I mean, I'm not him, so I can't answer that question. But at the end of the day,
the other thing is you might love the game of football. Do you love the game that is professional football?
Do you like, yeah, exactly. Do you like the ins and outs of it? Because you could love playing on the field, but there's so much more in
Right.
professional
You might
sports.
love the game of football, but do you love your profession?
Exactly.
I love hiking. That doesn't mean I want to be a hiking
professional
guide,
hiker.
you know, right? Doing it every day, you know.
You're like sweating bullets and stuff. Excuse me. Hey, listen. I think that's legitimate points, and I've heard so many different fans, so many different content creators come up with it. I've heard some media pundits even mentioning it, on and off.
It's like everybody wants to be a nurse till you got to wipe people's rears. Then you're like, wow, I didn't realize they did that part too.
Yeah, fully bathed.
Like, you know, like medicine itself is real glamorous for people. So you gotta like do all the really stuff. Like as a nurse, you're a nurse. It's not just sticking somebody and taking their blood. You gotta wipe some people's rears too.
Yeah, it's true. Look at Raphael. I hate casual hikers.
Oh, I'm more than a casual, but I'm not a professional. You know, like I wouldn't be a tour guide. You know,
Raphael, I'm not gonna lie, that was good.
But I'm definitely more than a casual. I done the Grand Canyon rim to rim, so
hey,
one end to the other.
Congrats, man! That's awesome. And
not
a lot of people have done
hiking.
That. Not a lot of people have done it, so that's great. But color,
people have died in the Grand Canyon, Ms. Phins, trying to hike.
Oh yeah, yes, that is
like recently.
Fact. Oh, okay. We don't got a man. Come on, I'm trying to like end in a positive note. Not too recently, ladies and gentlemen.
They have a book about it, 2 volumes.
Oh, jeez. That's insane. But I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, are you worried? If you are just catching the show, go ahead, or you're catching the replay, put in the comment section. I'm gonna leave it as a top pinned comment, a question there. Are you worried about the season? Are you worried about TUA's contract? You know, let us know in the comment section. I appreciate everybody that came through. Color, obviously yourself, Lou, Crypto. Thank you guys for coming through.
No, appreciate
Hooked
it.
Up Joe
as
that
always,
came through, of course.
Real quickly, AB, it took 6 days.
6 days?
Yeah.
Oh, for your hike.
Yeah.
He asked you about your hike?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, hey, That seems pretty fast. Or no,
It
is that
didn't seem
wrong?
pretty fast when we were doing it.
That's funny.
It
Great
can
math.
be done in a day.
Thank you, Jeff.
If you're like a power hiker, you know, like these people that do it, you know, where they're pretty much jogging the whole way. Those people can do it in a day. Like there's people that do it all the
In
time.
a day?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In a day?
Like if you're talking about the extreme hikers that like really put the gas on all day, yeah.
I'm not, so.
They'll get down to the bottom. They'll have lunch at
uh,
they'll have lunch at Phantom Ranch, which is at the inner gorge at the bottom. They'll have lunch there, and they'll be out by evening time up the other side.
no, that's ridiculous, dude. That's ridiculous. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not starting a hiking show with color, but we can talk about it later. Thank you guys for coming through. Go ahead and catch color commentary, crypto, shake money, all the gentleman Lewis at the Phins tailgate. They have a show tonight. That'll be great. They're amazing, 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 amazing content creators, and you're gonna always enjoy yourself. It's the tailgate that never sleeps. Okay. So shout out, go support them and subscribe to their channel, donate and all that good stuff. Color, again, my buddy, I will catch you later. Thank you so much for coming through. I really, really, really do appreciate it. Okay. I will see you later,
Man,
sir.
thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is again Miss Phins. Man, 1,800 of you guys were here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo! 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 What a show! What a show today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Shout out to everybody that showed your love in the channel and donated to the channel. Shout out to Raphael donating 5 memberships. 5 memberships, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. And I meant Ryan and Ronnie. Shout out to Ronnie. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ronnie, and for donating and gifting those 5 memberships. Shout out to Shake Bunny, Superfish, Q. Thank you guys for donating. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for everybody else that actually that gave some great, great, great questions in the comment section as always. Thank you guys. Yeah, good show, Miss Vince. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. I appreciate all of you guys for sure. Listen, guys, if you haven't done so already, I always like to let you guys know. You can catch Miss Vince Monday, Wednesday, Friday this off season on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Miss Fins. Miss Fins, okay? So youtube.com/Miss Fins. Go ahead and check it out. But you can catch me Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. Today I had to start at 10 because I had an appointment, guys, so I had to deal with it. But guys, I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. If you haven't done so already and you're new to the channel and you're watching the replay, thank you so much for coming through. We still got super thanks. We still got the comment section. Go ahead and give me your comment section. Answer the question. Are you worried about the season? Are you worried about TUA contract? Let's go ahead and have a dialogue. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through again. And you also can become a member and support the channel that way as well. If you are also new and you haven't done it yet, and you're on Twitter or Twitch, hey, psst, come here. Let me show you something real quick. Go ahead. Click the link on my YouTube, like not YouTube, in my Twitter profile. It literally says youtube.com/bestfriends. And that way you can go ahead and get over here. 1,800 of you guys. If you guys, all 1,800 of you guys became members of Miss Phins, then that'll get us to our goal to 2,000 before the season starts. So if you want to continue to get great, great, great content, do me a favor. Hit the like button on YouTube. Go ahead and do me a favor. And click that link on the Twitter/X profile for Miss Phins. So that way you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's 100% free. Liking the episodes, and also subscribing is 100% free. So go ahead, and that's a great way for you to support Miss Phins. I appreciate all of you guys. Man, I got some great, great, great content today. I'm really grateful for all of you guys. Hey, we got a super sticker. As you can see, we celebrate super stickers, super chat, super thanks, all the super stuff. So I appreciate all you guys as always. Thank you so much, Irvin. Appreciate you, man. See you in here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That $2 donation, man. Appreciate it. Everything literally goes right back to the channel. So I appreciate all of you guys for coming through. And again, I will see you guys on Monday, bright and early. Oh, side note, if you are a Florida Panther fan like I am, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and do me a favor and check this puppy out. We are the champions, my friend. Da, da, da. We keep on fighting to the end. Da, da, da. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. So shout out to the Florida Panthers. They are your 2024 Stanley Cup champions. And you can go ahead and check out the parade. Is this Sunday, 11 a.m. It's starting out on A1A in Fort Lauderdale Beach, all the way to A1A and Rio Mar. And then it's going to go all the way down to A1A and Southeast 5th Street. There is going to be a stage, VIP section. They might even have different vendors. The parade starts at 11. The ceremony and all that's going to start at 1. So go ahead and check it out, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your weekend. All of you guys are a super blessing. Thank you so much for coming through. And as always, yes, I am still the president of the Micah Sexy fan club. I appreciate you, Irvin. Thank you, guys. Take care. Again, this is Miss Phins. I'm Miss Phins. I appreciate all of you guys. I'm just so grateful, man. Thank you so much, guys. And I will catch you later. Take care. And as always, bye-bye. Okay, hold up, because I can't even find... Where's this thingy? Okay, found it. Bye-bye.